Welcome, everyone, to episode 90 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. I am your host, Triple J. Joining me is my co host, Dr. Games 101.
Hello there, people. How's everyone doing?
And we're going to do what we do what we do every 2 weeks, which is bring you the latest news in gaming. Dr. Games 101, I asked you, you never gave me an answer to this, so we could cover it or go over it if you want to. I did watch that video on the downfall of G4. I don't know. I mean, we did cover when Frost got fired and G4 shut down. We did cover basically Frost killing the company, but we didn't cover other things that was shown in the video you showed me, like mismanagement of money and stuff like that. Do you still want to cover that, or
No, why
not?
not? We can still talk about it if you like. If you
I,
see, you watch the video yourself more than me. So if I
I
watch it
watched the whole
halfway,
video.
okay.
All right, so start, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Well, from what I can think of G4, it's more reminiscent of like a nostalgia more than an actual future near permanent product or project of sorts from these companies that run G4. So uh, I don't know what exactly happened exactly, but from what I could tell based on the video, it stated that had it not been for the Morrigan woman or Mori, her basically her name starts with M and it sounds like Maury or Morgan, something like that. And she dropped out of the G4T project back like 2019 when it was supposed to start in 2020. So that kind of threw off everything, and that's how Frost got in some way into the staffing of the shows and all. So having not been for her to drop out, the Morrigan woman, if I pronounce her name properly, that is, the G4T would not shut down so easily, so quickly. So having not been, like I said, just a wonder. Like she should have stayed put for a few more years, then somehow, Frost will kind of like be like denied access to that main line of the show. So
Right. Well, I do have to say, and you're probably not gonna agree with me on this, but I do think if Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb had come back for the G4 revival, I do think G4 would have had more of a chance to succeed, because there would have been people who didn't care about the game that were just seen it, that were just been watching to either watch Olivia Munn or watch Morgan Webb. I have no problem admitting that there's a Let's Player on YouTube. She's actually, I'm watching her play the Batman games, but she's also a beautiful woman. She has the face cam on.
mm-hmm.
So, but now I do enjoy her Let's Plays. I do watch them like when I have nothing else to watch and like I'm eating and I want something on TV. I usually go to where I left off on her latest Let's Play. But, but the fact that she's such a beautiful woman is also a bonus. So I'm saying if they had gotten, and there were other people who thought Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb were attractive women. I think more people would have cared had those women come back and been part of the revival.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, Frosty the Snow Bitch, on the other hand, um, well, let's actually steer away from her for a minute, because there is something else I brought up that I remember from the video that I want to cover, which was the mismanagement of money. Um, while getting streamers were a great idea on paper, it did not sound like a great idea in the checkbook.
mm-hmm.
They were paying streamers, I think, something like 15, 20,000. Maybe the top streamers were like 30,000 to come and be part of G4. Jared the Completionist was there. I think Xavier Woods from WWE was on a few episodes. They're the only ones I know off the top of my head that were part of this G4 revival.
Yeah, it was Olivia Munn
And
that I mentioned. Sorry, I thought it was Morrigan, but it was Olivia Munn that you mentioned. That was the one that denied or turned down the offer. So
okay, well,
continue on.
yeah, and Morgan Webb was already. I think she works for like a video game developer or something. Um, but I know she didn't come back either.
Okay.
Um, but anyway, uh, yeah, the mismanagement of money. They got these streamers, and the thing is, they just did not. They just, more money going out than what was coming in from views on Twitch and views on YouTube. Of course, no business can sustain that forever. So, I mean, it's kind of like they should have had. They price talent. They bought talent they couldn't basically afford.
Yeah.
Or paid talent they couldn't afford, to thinking their fans would come over and become G4 fans.
Oh yeah.
Not so much, no. So whoever was managing the checkbook of G4 should never balance it. Should never be in charge of a budget again.
Especially if it's like a socialist Marxist background of that person handling that money.
Well, since we're getting in there, I forgot what woman. I think RGT85 interviewed her about the interview process. And one woman was asked, if you could cancel one superhero, what superhero would you cancel? And this woman was like, why would I want to cancel any superhero? And the interviewer was like, well, don't you want to cancel Batman because he's rich and he's white?
The fuck?
And yeah, that was a question that would, according to this woman, that was a question that was asked in the interview process.
Oh wow.
Kind of easy to see where they got Frosty the Snow Bitch from. Anyway, but anyway, I wish they had interviewed me, and I wish they had said that to me, because I would have given them an answer that would have made them cry. But anyway, so the woman said, "Well, I guess I can see that," and she was playing along because she wanted to be part of G4. And they said, well, like, what other superhero besides Batman would you cancel? And she said, even though she liked the Punisher, she goes, the Punisher, because he's white and good looking. And the interview process was like, good job, good answer, we like that. Now, do you
employee for a while?
do you know? Now, like I said, if they had me in there and they had asked me what superhero I would have wanted to cancel. You know what? Let's do a little role play. You be G4's socialist white haters, and pretend you're interviewing me, and tell me and ask me that question that I told you about.
Like, oh my God, Triple J. Well, which superhero want to cancel, baby?
That's actually scary.
Like, totally, Triple J, totally.
I would, if I could cancel any superhero, I would cancel Shaft, because all he does is have a big gun and no other superpowers.
Oh,
Can you imagine? God. Can you imagine how the heads at G4 hiring would have exploded if I had answered that way?
Yeah, it's like, you're racist, Triple J. How could you? You're fired. Get out. Get out. No! And be like, and then if they don't kick me out right away, or they're telling me get out, can be like, well, can we cancel Blade instead? He's just a guy with the sword, especially Blade 3.
Hey, maybe I will have killed a few. Maybe I will have killed a few people off because I will have raised their blood pressure, because their heads would have exploded.
Funny, Triple J, funny.
But yeah, ever since I heard that interview with RGT85, when he was interviewing this woman, I would have been like, I wish they had answered me that question.
Yeah, I was wondering why I've been unemployed for quite some time over the years. Can't get anywhere because people like interfering with these type of people. It's ridiculous, man. It's business anymore. It's about pleasure. It's about fantasy. It's about like getting go for the fight the patriarchy, bro.
Yes. So I mean, so there was a third point brought up. I don't really remember what that point was. In the video, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, so I mean, they went after the wrong type of people, and they were spending more than they should have.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Um, I do say maybe they should have, instead of getting like big Twitch streamers, maybe they should have gotten little Twitch streamers, and that they could have paid a lot less, and they could have helped build up those names. Because look at now, I could be wrong, but like I never heard of Olivia Munn or Morgan Webb before G4. The original G4 happened.
Right.
So who's to say G4 couldn't have built up their own talent and paid them less because they got their big break or big exposure on the revived G4?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And now that G4 is dead and buried, we'll probably never talk about it again.
Yeah, it's pretty much so no more revivals, no more sequels to G4 or any former G4. It's all up to the original cast and what they want to do for themselves, in future projects from now on. It could have been a nice, project to last for a good 5 years, at most 10 years, if they did it the right way. You know.
Right? Yeah, they could have done that. But like I said, they were paying these people tens of thousands of dollars, even on the low end, and it's just they weren't getting the views through Twitch and through YouTube revenue to make that money back.
Mm-hmm.
And just like when WCW died in 2001, no one's going to fund a losing company just for the hell of it.
Unless you had to include that venture capital that started back in the late 2000s and into the 2010s, then that's a different story.
Right, but the thing is, I mean, look at gaming from 2000 to 2020. It's actually changed quite a bit. I'm not just talking about graphics or sound.
Mm-hmm.
In 2000 to, I'd say, 2006, 2007 at least, gaming was all about the most common systems out. PS2, GameCube, Wii, and then in 2006, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 came out. I'm sorry, GameCube and original Xbox at the time, and PS2, and then it was PS3, 360, and the Wii. The Nintendo being off by a couple of years makes it a little confusing. But the thing is, so like in 06, 07, no one really cared about, unless it was for those consoles, no one really cared about other games. No one cared about games from the past.
Yeah.
At least not on a huge scale. Maybe many niche people did, but the majority was all about the newest games coming out, the newest titles that were being anticipated. But then you see, like in 2010, 2011, 2012, that's when a lot of people started paying attention to retro games.
Oh, I see that now. Yeah.
So and then look at it today. Some people are sticking, like with me, are sticking with retro. Because they don't want to head towards an all-digital future. It's kind of like YouTube content. In 2006, it was all about like do-it-yourself mostly. There was maybe one or two game reviewers on YouTube. Then, as you head like towards 2010, 2011, more people were doing game reviews. Everyone and their mother's doing game reviews. And then just a few years after that, like 2012, 2013, those people started transitioning into Let's Plays if they weren't doing Let's Plays already. And now you can find almost anyone doing Let's Plays.
Yeah, anyone can do it these days.
You don't see many people taking the time to do a review unless they got like a following on Patreon or something.
Yeah, especially if you have a following on YouTube at least that is consistent.
Yeah, so I mean, most people are doing Let's Plays because it's easier. You just record, you play, you upload. Which I don't blame them. That's what I do.
Same here for us since 2015.
So yeah, it's just like content's changing, but G4 should have succeeded, but they never did Let's Plays. They never did. I think that's where they really screwed up. They could have done Let's Plays. Hey, the people that they bring on make thousands of dollars themselves doing Let's Plays a year.
Or kind of like a 5-10% of the overall project at most. That's about it. For all.
Yeah, so I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they should have been all Let's Plays. They still should have covered special gaming events because E3 was dead actually, but they could have covered other gaming events. Whether they be digital or
the Game Show. The Comic Cons, they're still around.
Yeah, all the gaming expos they're still going around. Maybe not in 2020 because that was the beginning of the pandemic. But they could have shut they could have covered the digital events and then said from their home or wherever they were recording their feedback, what they thought about um, what was unveiled at any gaming convention.
Definitely.
But yeah, but like I said, G4 after what they brought back, don't bring it back again.
Yeah. Well, leave it in the past. They have many other shows and series and other projects. It's good to revive some of them every now and then, like once every few decades, for the sake of like the new generation to understand what's like 30, 40, 50 years ago. Like that, like say if the Nickelodeon shows, whatever, back in the 2000s, 1990s, and all those are good shows back for us as kids. But now look what's going
Right.
on today. They cut back a lot of bloat, they call it, which doesn't make any sense though, because you need Amazing World Gumball or whatever the newest Rugrats or the newest whatever for Nickelodeon, stuff like that, to make sure to maintain the competition between Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. But
Yeah.
that's a different project, a different type of entertainment altogether. When it comes to gaming, though, it's endless. Though, when it comes to gaming, because you get different groups of people doing the same thing, but it just depends on who got the best talent, the best personalities, the best equipment. Sometimes, and G4 had the best equipment and all for that to happen, but they invest so much, like you said, onto these well mentioned people where what they could have done is give them a cut, say, hey, come back for like first couple episodes and see what happens, and then take it from there for other projects, other people on YouTube, give them chances and opportunities to be on G4 TV. Like us, for example, maybe, or perhaps guys like who's it called, Camelot. Perhaps guys like Review Tech USA can be a guest. Like doing interviews, stuff like that. Like us, like from mid tier to small tier, the YouTubers, YouTube gamers like us.
Yeah.
That's perfect for like
Yeah.
a good opportunity for us to be on there.
Right. Exactly. Anything else to add, or ready to move on to our first story for tonight?
Yeah, let's move on for this matter. Just I want to say one
Okay.
more thing that it's a pleasure to see G4 TV. I never really saw G4 TV of its fullness when I was younger because I was busy studying a lot and not buying as much video games as I am now. Because back when I was like 17, 16, 15 years old, I was busy going to the library so often and studying other things other than video games, to play games and stuff like that. But when I have the chance, when I do go to GameStop at the time, it was called Funkoland, there was these TV shows that show on in the stores and all, and one of those G4 TV. So it's kind of like or the equivalency of that matter. And I know it's the best thing to go into the store for, but things have definitely changed since then. So it's all about the digital media, digital products, digital services, the live services. So let's see what happens for the next 15 years from now, at least 10 years from now, for what happens. Transition from G4 TV to whatever's coming out in the next 10 years or so. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. Moving to the first official story for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, PTW, a support studio that's worked with Capcom and Blizzard, lays off 45 people. PTW, a support studio that worked with some of the industry's biggest companies like Blizzard, Capcom, and Sega, has laid off about 45 people, as first reported by Kotaku. PTW was previously called Pole to Win, and its services include quality assurance, studio support, and localization. Last week, on January 11th, someone with knowledge of the studio told Kotaku about the layoffs, noting that roughly 45 people lost their jobs. The person with the knowledge of PTW also told the publication that the majority of those laid off live outside the United States. It has studios in North America, Europe, and Asia, and were QA workers. However, jobs were cut in other departments too, Kotaku notes. PTW made the difficult decision to reduce our workforce in several countries where we operate, a PTW spokesperson told Kotaku. This decision was not made lightly. Our company's core offerings stem from the people who enable us to deliver world-class products and services. We want to thank our departing team members for the time and effort they put into the company. These layoffs join a large string of other jobs that happened last week following a terrible 2023 for the people who make games and those in game-adjacent industries. Last week, we learned Unity would be laying off 1,800 people by the end of March, and that Twitch was laying off 500 employees. Discord also announced that they laid off 170 employees. In January of last year, Microsoft laid off 10,000 employees amidst its ongoing $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which it completed in October. Striking Distance Studios, the team behind 22's The Callisto Protocol, laid off more than 30 employees in August of 2023. That same month, Mass Effect and Dragon Age developer BioWare laid off 50 employees, including longtime studio veterans. The following month in September, Immortals of Avium developer Ascendant Studios laid off roughly 45% of its staff. And Fortnite developer Epic Games laid off 830 employees. In October of last year, the Last of Us developer Naughty Dog laid off at least 25 employees, and Telltale Games also underwent layoffs, although an actual number of affected employees has not yet been revealed. Dreams developer Media Molecule laid off 20 employees in late October. In November, Amazon Games laid off 180 staff members, Ubisoft laid off more than 100 employees, Bungie laid off roughly 100 developers, and 505 Games' parent company, Digital Brothers, laid off 30% of its staff. In December, Embracer Group closed its reformed Timesplitter studio, Free Radical Design, and earlier in the year, Embracer closed Saints Row developer Volition Games, a studio with more than 30 years of development history. Well, that was basically Saints Row's fault. A few weeks before the winter holidays, Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering owner Hasbro laid off 1,100 employees. The games industry will surely feel the effects of such horrific layoffs for years to come. The hearts of the Game Informer staff are with everyone who's been affected by layoffs or closures. We are going to talk about more layoffs, especially later in this later tonight. But what do you think of basically that recap I just went over?
It's a series of things going on, and for the last couple of years now, especially since the Activision of Blizzard and Blizzard and Capcom and many other companies are just laying off left and right. They're all preparing for this recession / depression. What I hear in the circles of people I talk to, or at least watch videos online, and I'm like, I don't see. And we've already been in a recession since the 2008 crisis. Because it's considered the zombie economy overall in the financial sector and all, but now it's starting to spread to other aspects of the economy, from gaming, movies, stuff like that. So, because now the product has turned to crap since the 2008 crisis, in a sense. It's just a slow deterioration of overall quality of the product, whether it's the products we buy on at stores like Macy's or games that we buy at GameStop, whatever. It's just overall the shitification, you want to call it like that.
But, the reason I want to go over these layoffs when they happen is because you can anyone who basically it's because of the person who's in charge of the country.
Yes.
There is no way you could say we're doing better. There's no way you can defend these layoffs, and when these layoffs weren't even happening during COVID. During COVID, everything was shut down. No production of anything was happening except food and drinks and stuff like that. And these companies were not laying off these people in the droves they are now.
Well, you see after effect. It takes like 3 to 4 years for that to happen, because based on what WarCorp said at the time, I know it's been years ago he said this, though. WarCorp 66 said that, now he's going to lower the patriarchy, he's saying that if we were to shut down the economy right then and there and permanently, it's going to take 3 years for everything to rewind back up to its status or to its system.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm saying also, even during COVID, we weren't really in a recession. That recession we really didn't start feeling anything bad, at least as far as I can remember, till like May or June of 2021.
Okay.
That's when I started to notice things were getting bad. That's when my job that had just come back went away again and never returned. Because my writing job in 2020, before COVID, I was getting like 3 assignments a day that I could do. And if I had something on user testing, I was making like around $35 a day. Um, then COVID hit, so people weren't paying money to have articles written for their website. They were using that money to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as the year went on, things there were things to work on, but they were few and far between. Then in 2021, in January of 2021, things started to come back a little more consistently. Instead of finding two or three things maybe a week if I was lucky, I was finding things to work on once a day. One article a day is better than two or three for the whole week. And then just like but by the time we got to summer, it was hard to find anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I kind of just want to go up to anyone like who was a Biden voter and be like, you still think you made the right decision?
Yeah. It sucks for this to happen or left and right for the last several months. Now these layoffs from Activision Blizzard to PTW that you mentioned, Capcom, other development companies and studios. I mean, but it's like that for
Even 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 Amazon and Microsoft.
yep. But it's kind of weird though because there's always been like layoffs or shut down gaming studios from like Warped and
Not like not
Eversoft
like
and all.
not like this though. Not this much consistently.
Hmm.
It's I mean we do this every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks we have about three or four stories of studios that are shutting down or actually reducing staff. Um, and it's just not just one time like over the span of one or two episodes. It's every time.
For the last year, almost a year now, pretty much.
Yeah. So unfortunately, yeah. So anything else to add, or ready to move on?
Oh, we can move on now.
Okay. Next, Call of Duty will now automatically close if you're cheating. Targeting aim assist with mouse and keyboard. Bad news for the Call of Duty cheaters. If you're using aim assist while playing with mouse and keyboard, the Ricochet anti-cheat software will now close the game upon detection. This affects all current games in the ecosystem, including Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and Modern Warfare 2. Announced on January 16th by the Call of Duty Updates account on X, formerly known as Twitter, the update says that repeated use of these tools may lead to further account action, although it's unclear how many times you'd have to beat your cheat to be penalized and the severity of each instance. This new anti-cheat method is merely the latest iteration of Ricochet's fight against aimbotters. Back in November of last year, Activision promised a stronger and faster process to counter cheaters. This encompassed the use of machine learning as well as a system called Splat, where players will lose their parachutes and crash down onto the map to their death if Ricochet detects malicious activity. As of December 22nd, Ricochet deployed new machine learning detections while Splat was activated over 2,000 times since launch. Moreover, over 23,000 accounts were banned for cheating since November 12th. As Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gears up for the Season 1 Reloaded update, it seems cheaters will have a harder time getting perfect kill streaks without any skill. There are comments. I just want to look at the comments. Tyler50514 says, closes the game? How about permaban? No questions asked. I had my first Call of Duty account permanently banned over a false positive overclock software for my GPU. No appeals on Blizzard bans either. And Nintendien says, this is perfect. Whenever it detects a cheater loading up the game, should automatically close the game until the cheater removes those cheat files and devices. What do you think about this?
Sounds interesting. If it targets the cheater itself, that's good right there because you don't have to shut down the entire game or disconnect the game or try to have everyone be banned from the game itself altogether of all parties. Because if I remember correctly, there be times where in Halo 3, and this may sound a little different experience, where it's like there's can be too many cheaters or there's too much lag or whatever, it will shut down the lobby, it will shut down the connection, everything, and start over from scratch. So,
Oh, wow.
Last time I checked, that is. I could be wrong.
Right.
It's been like 10 years last time I've been in a Halo 3 lobby. Obviously, it's been a year, 2 years now since it got shut down. The Halo 3 games and all. So, but then when it comes to the Master Chief Collection, of course, they try to they have the anti cheat anyway. So, you know, I mean, who's cheating on Halo these days other than the hardcore players of Halo 3 especially? So it's all about like skill. It's all about matching the skill with the cheats. If they're being too good of a gamer, I have suspicion I'll report them most likely, no matter what. Because if if they're doing like good sniper shots out of nowhere and I can't find them at all, that's when I want to report them, especially in games like Apex Legends, because it's been a big deal with cheating in these battle royale games with Fortnite, Apex Legends, hell even in PUBG. But obviously, the PUBG, who really cares much about PUBG these days? So
Yeah. I'm just. It's good. At least something is happening. Um, yeah. So I mean, if you're someone who cheats in Call of Duty, you might want to just focus on increasing your skill level and becoming more skilled at the game instead of relying on cheats because
what's the point of it anyway? Because it's going to be detected by the game servers, the maintainers of the servers. Like
yeah, but that's why I'm saying these cheaters they should start practicing and actually becoming more skilled instead of relying on cheating software.
yeah, 'cause everybody's tracked right now online. Like I don't get that. I mean, I just want to feel good at playing the game, whatever. But it's like if like anything you do on the internet now is being trackable. Everything's been tracked since day one. So if I was dumb, I would like avoid that Chronos software, whatever it's called, and just stick with like playing the game often on your own, and then build up your skill that way, or just be with the best of the best and just toughen your way out of it. That's what I did.
Yeah,
That's what I did in Apex Legends for like the first. Okay, when Apex Legends was released in 2019 and all, there was like 10 million cheaters on that platform, or a million cheaters. Excuse me, not 10 million, 1 million on the platform cheated. So that's been reduced down greatly over the months. But by like say 2021, 2020, that's when I started playing every day since then. That's when my skill got much better until 2022, and that's what you see me doing tournaments on Z League and stuff like that since then. So it's all about like knowing your opponent, knowing what they're gonna do first and stuff like that. But then also you don't want to be that cheater that just cheats all the time. Then you just discreditable and you're disgraceful. You know.
right.
So
Yeah. So if you're gonna cheat, if like I said, if you were thinking about cheating, you might want to just get rid of that software and just practice as much as you can.
oh yeah.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
There's nothing else to add for the time being.
Okay. Next, Nintendo 3DS and Wii U online services will officially end on April 8th, 2024. End of an era. Nintendo has officially announced they'll be ending online play for the 3DS and Wii U on April 8th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Nintendo had previously indicated an early April 2024 date for the end of these services on its legacy gaming hardware, and back in March 2023, the eShops were taken offline. Once the fated hour comes, 3DS and Wii U users can expect online cooperative play, internet rankings, and data distribution to be non-functional, but there will be some exceptions. Nintendo noted that the Pokemon Bank and Poke Transporter will still be functional and that players will still be able to re-download purchase games on these platforms for the foreseeable future. While the majority of Nintendo games will still be playable in offline mode, several online-centric games will be affected. Splatoon is a prime example, as the first game in Nintendo's multiplayer shooter series was primarily designed for online play. Or if you want to cement your legacy, time is running out to rise to the top of the Devil's Third leaderboards. Sales of Wii U and 3DS hardware have gradually been phased out over the years, as the Nintendo Switch succeeded those platforms and went on to sell tens of millions of units. That's not to say there hadn't been any movement on the sales charts for the Wii U, as back in September 2023, someone found a console at their local retailer and purchased it. As for the Switch, it is rumored that its successor will be revealed soon, as the new Nintendo console was reportedly shown to developers at Gamescom in August of 2023. There's only one comment. It's been great. So what do you think of Nintendo Wii U and 3DS games shutting down the online service officially April the 8th?
I have to say it's just it sucks though. It's only been like 12 years after since Wii U was released to the public, especially the online
Yep.
services and all. You expect it to be another like 5 years at the most to make sure it's a 20-year project of sorts for each of these consoles, but I guess not. And it sucks, And I always wanted to give myself a copy of the 3DS to play games like Resident Evil Mercenaries or Pokemon X and Y and other Pokemon games as well too.
Well,
But
you can still do that. It's just you won't be able to play
the online, yeah.
if those games have any online play, you won't be able to access the online modes.
Yeah, I meant to say. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say like I won't be able to play the online features of the X and Y, Black and White 2 games. I'm sure they have online features for these games as well, Pokemon games.
Okay. Yeah. So unfortunately, the clock is ticking. And I mean, like games like Devil's Third on Wii U will still be playable. It's just you're not going to be able to get yourself up on a leaderboard after this time.
Okay.
But yeah, it sucks. Like I guess. It just sucks. Playing Mario Kart 8 on Wii U is online is a blast, and yes, I know you can play it on Switch, but first you gotta buy a Switch, then you gotta buy Mario Kart 8, then you gotta buy a Nintendo membership, and it just and then you $200 just to play one game online. I don't love any Mario Kart game that much. So it's, but I mean, even as I think about Mario Kart 8, like I said, you could, even if you get Mario Kart 8 and you have a working Wii U, you could always just play. You could play this the Grand Prix modes. You could play the time trials. You could play the versus races against the computer if you don't have anyone else to play with, or you could play with other humans if they are in the same vicinity as you, if they are in the same room. Yeah. So, and honestly,
Does it have LAN support on Mario Kart 8?
yeah, huh?
Does Mario Kart 8 have LAN support?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's LAN support.
All right.
Yeah, but like I said, just bring up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's plenty to do in that game if you're not playing it online. So, it's that game is still worth playing if you happen to have the Wii U and that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. The Deluxe was basically was just the Switch version. Yeah, so it sucks, but unfortunately, that's what happens when they move on to the new. That's what happens when they move on to the new systems. I wish they had kept the shops open because it's like, why would you shut down the shops a year before you shutter the online service? Before you completely shutter the online service, wouldn't you just leave the shops up until a couple months beforehand?
They want everyone to go to the Nintendo Switch market. That's what they want.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. Well, it's just Wii U and what Wii U and Nintendo Switch offered were two different things. Wii U, you could buy the games you wanted for Virtual Console if they were available. The Switch, you just buy a membership and they give you the whole smorgasbord of games that they've added to their online service. But yeah, so if you still play your 3DS or Wii U online, you only got a few more months. You only got like 2.5 months left.
Oh yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Powerworld passes 7 million sales in 5 days. Roadmap revealed. Powerworld fans can look forward to PAL trading, crossplay, and more in the months to come. Powerworld has been a massive hit after launching this month, as the Pokemon-inspired crafting game has now sold over 7 million copies so far. What makes this figure even more impressive is that it was achieved in just 5 days and only on PC, as Microsoft has yet to reveal Palworld sales figures or Game Pass download numbers on Xbox Series. But developer Pocket Pair isn't resting on its laurels. The studio has revealed its roadmap for Palworld, and players can look forward to some PvP in an arena mode, the ability to trade pals with other players across the world, and major building. System updates. Rocket Pair CEO Takuro Mizobe explained this week that adding PvP would be quite challenging, as the studio is well aware of the high bar set by its competitors. Uh, PvP is really difficult. First of all, we need to think about why we are introducing PvP to Palworld. To begin with, there are many other games that offer a fun PvP experience, so we need to make sure that there is a reason for Palworld players to play PvP, Mizobi said. Of course, using pals you caught in battle is one unique point, but only games that give players a good reason to play can survive in the long term. In this sense, I think it's very harsh territory. Pocket Pair also plans to add raid bosses, cross-play functionality, new pals, and more gameplay elements to own the survival elements of Palworld further. Despite its big launch, Palworld has also attracted controversy, as the game has been accused of asset theft and modders have run into the long arm of Nintendo's copyright enforcement. If you're playing the game and looking for a few advantages, you can check out GameSpot's constantly evolving Palworld Guide Hub for tips and tricks. And says one comment, the only comment goes, the islands need a lot more to do. There's parts that are barren. He's right about PvP. He's going to struggle to make it stick. Raids in other dimensions would be sick. Really liking this game in. Have you checked out Palworld on Game Pass?
Unfortunately, I don't have no more Game Pass. I can't play it right this second. I heard good things
Oh.
about it though for the last couple of days now.
Oh.
They kind of like rip-offs of Pokemon, but and Nintendo is trying to find some way to file a lawsuit against the makers of Palworld as of this moment. So
Yeah.
I have to say though,
Oh,
it's interesting. You know, Nintendo like to attack everything that's like creative, but it's similar to their IPs and all. But it's another way to encourage people to buy more Pokemon games. I bet. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like something funny to check out. But and people love Pokemon, so something like that was obviously going to be a big hit. Something similar.
oh,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I haven't checked it out. I have no desire to check it out. It's not like I'm missing, saying I wish I had Game Pass to check it out. Um, so so I have to say, yeah, um, good for Palworld. And obviously they're going to add more things, since it's making so much money, at least on PC. Keep in mind that 7 million is not counting sales figures on Xbox. So
surprisingly,
yeah,
yeah.
if you're a fan of this game, if you're a fan of this game, there's going to be more content coming.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Okay. Outrider Studio, People Can Fly, lays off more than 30 employees. People Can Fly, the developer behind 2021 surprise shooter hit Outriders, has laid off more than 30 employees. Comes by Kotaku, that source with knowledge situation and job cuts only staff working on an unannounced game at the studio codenamed Project Gemini that is to be published by Square Enix. Kotaku reached out to People Can Fly after its source sent screenshots confirming that layoffs happened at the studio, and development director Adam Alker confirmed the news. Alka cited budget limitations and a shrinking scope for Project Gemini as for why it was laying off over 30 people. The publication notes that another 20 outside of the 30 laid off were removed from the project and moved to other projects at People Can Fly. We understand that this decision impacts each of you, and we want to express our gratitude for your hard work, dedication, and contributions thus far. Alker's email says to those affected reads, according to Kotaku, to those individuals transitioning out of the studio due to these changes, We extend our sincere appreciation for the skills and expertise you brought to the team. We will keep our fingers crossed for your next steps in game development and offer all our support. These people can fly layoffs, join a string of other disheartening 2024 job cuts, which total more than 3,500. Riot Games laid off 530. Lords of Publisher CG Games was laying off 10% of its staff. Unity laid off 1,800 people by the end of March. Twitch had laid off 500. I'm not going to go through all of it again. Yeah, so basically, it looks like Game Informer. They went over anytime anyone got released. They went over all the history. So I'm not going to read the history every time. Corvo at Rhino said, "Good grief!" And these people typically don't have enough capital to make their own companies, especially when the market is already super saturated. The stuff just makes my heart sink. And Tim Stands On says, "That's a shame. I really enjoyed Outriders. I hope they can find work." Did you ever play Outriders?
Outriders. It sounds familiar. I never played them though. That's my check.
Okay. Well, I hate to say this. This is going to sound a little cold, but it's almost like another studio bites the dust. I mean, the studio's not completely dead, but it is shedding workers faster than a dog sheds its own hair.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, there will be more to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
can't stop the trend on this one. It's things will get worse eventually over time. In my perspective, I sound pessimistic for saying that for years before I got involved with gaming or online gaming and all with YouTube and all. But the saying goes, pessimism never wins any wars, or pessimism never wins any feats or whatever you want to call it. But it's still getting worse and worse so as time progresses, and these companies are making millions upon millions of dollars or saving millions of dollars easily just from laying off these people. But I don't understand companies like Microsoft and Activision and all what they did with Activision Blizzard. They spend how much money? $70 billion on the company.
69 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, and then lay off like 10,000 workers with the next month or two. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah, and we're going to cover that also. Yeah, so for anyone who's just saying like the economy is fine, show them these reports of all these studios shutting down. Show them the dates of when these layoffs happened, and tell them, okay, name another time this was happening, because this was not happening during COVID. This was not happening during 2008. So, for anyone who thinks the economy's fine, show them these reports and say, when was the last time this was this was happening at this big of a scale?
Yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. Xbox Game Pass loses just one more game this month. Hitman: World of Assassination drops out on January 31st. That's this coming Wednesday. Microsoft has announced the latest wave of removals from the Xbox Game Pass catalog, and thankfully for fans of the subscription service, only one more game is getting axed this month. On January 31st, Microsoft will remove Hitman: World of Assassination from the Game Pass catalog across cloud, console, and PC. That is the one and only game getting dumped from the library at the end of the month. This is something of a rarity. Microsoft has removed GTA 5 Garden Store, MotoGP 22, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 3 Portable earlier this month. With Hitman: World of Assassination heading out, that's a total of 6 removals for January in 2024. The next big release for Game Pass is the Pokemon with Guns game Power World, which launches in the Game Pass on January 19th. That was 8 days ago. For more, check out the full rundown of all the games coming to Game Pass before the end of January. A total of 14 games will be added to Game Pass during January 2024, meaning Game Pass will post a net growth of 6 games in January of 2024. This is assuming there are no further additions or removals from the library to be announced before the month is over. Just one comment. WG Production says, some context that the author somehow missed. These games are not being axed, but cycle on and off of the platform all in the efforts to get FOMO boys of the titles. Subscribers love GTA 5, but then hears it's leaving, so to keep playing, they buy the title on DLC or extras. That is why they cycle. GTA is a champion at milking the Game Pass platform this way. Um, did you ever play Hitman? This was like the Hitman titles, the Xbox One Hitman titles.
Wow. I remember correctly, Absolution was a Hitman. You referred to the Agent 47 Hitman? I actually own copies of Hitman games like Hitman 2 Silent Assassins. I got Hitman Contracts, Hitman Blood
No, no, no,
Money.
no, no, no. Blood, like, though. I don't know about contracts, but I think contracts, blood money, and what was the third one? Absolution, I think it was one.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the PS3 360 titles. If I'm correct, Hitman World of Assassination, there were 3 Hitman games released on Xbox One and maybe PS5 or PS4.
Oh, that Hitman games. Yeah, I actually own
Yeah,
them.
those Hitman games were all on Game Pass, and then originally they took up 3 spots, and then it was just rolled all up into one trilogy. When I had Game Pass, you just played Hitman World of Assassination, and then you pick like the title that you wanted to play, and then you loaded your file where you left off, or you started a new game,
Oh,
and
I
that's
remember.
and that's what's included in Hitman World of Assassination. It's the
As,
3 Xbox One, PS4 titles of Hitman.
as you can tell, I've already played those games in months, if not years. Last time I played
Yeah,
Hitman, the first Hitman, I actually owned the first Hitman part of my games with gold back in like 2016 when was part of the offer on games with
yeah, I
gold.
remember that.
So, and that's been since like 2021, 2022. The last time I played it. So, like those games are not that all that memorable per se. You know, it's something to play for at the time, in my opinion. Like, I think it's not the worst games, but definitely not the best games. So,
Yeah, it's not. It's yeah. It's well. I played Hitman World of Assassination. I played it on Twitch quite a few times. Um, so I really enjoyed it. I never beat any of them because I sometimes switched. I really enjoyed, I think, the third one the most. Um,
mm-hmm.
yeah. So unfortunately, it's being removed from Game Pass. Obviously, you'll be able to buy it if you're still a Game Pass member because it's still got a few more days on the service.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for anyone who does have Game Pass, uh, if you haven't bought it, I definitely buy it. I even warmed up to Hitman One, which I originally did not like. Um, so yeah, if the Hitman Xbox trilogy, it's definitely worth purchasing. Um, but if you don't care, it's going to be off Game Pass in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
We can move on for now.
All right. RoboCop Rogue City update adds new game plus mode, extra difficulty, and golden guns. Come quietly, or there will be trouble. Again. It's official. RoboCop Rogue City will allow you to clean the streets of old Detroit again, as it's receiving a new game plus mode. Developer Teon detailed the fan requested addition as well as a new difficulty mode and several other tweaks being introduced into the game this week. On its Steam blog, Teon also reported that players will be able to relive the full invincible robotic law enforcement officer experience once RoboCop Rogue City has been updated. When the original game launched last year, one of the criticisms for an otherwise fun RoboCop game was that it was easy to miss out on optional one-time only quests and Auto 9 upgrades, and the game was also stingy with how many points players could earn to help upgrade OCP's high-tech cop. Teon says that once again the patch has been installed, a new save file will be created for players who have completed the game, and new Game Plus mode will be unlocked. As an extra reward, a golden Auto 9 skin will be unlocked as soon as you beat the game. For anyone looking for the ultimate challenge, the There Will Be Trouble difficulty will make Old Detroit even more hostile for RoboCop. Alongside these extras, a few other tweaks have been made to the game, including shooting mode, not properly resetting when exiting interiors, and Robocop's right hand disappearing when grabbing a human enemy and unaliving them or unaliving them. It's a well-worn cliche at this point, but if you're a fan of RoboCop, then you'll find a lot to love in Rogue City. Richard Wakeling wrote in GameSpot's Rogue City review, scoring the game 7 out of 10. It's chock full of Easter eggs and manages to capture the look and feel of the first two RoboCop movies with excellent attention to detail, even getting Peter Weller to reprise his role as the anonymous hero. Nintendian says, I would like to see that golden Auto 9, please. No Life Degenerate says, New Game Plus should be standard by now, not a patch months after release. This is getting ridiculous. Why is every dev leaving it out to act like they're adding something later? This is why people don't like buying games day one anymore. Basic features being left for later is for no good reason. Max Shady says, that's all good and well, but I just really want to be able to sprint at least 33% faster. The sprint in the game feels slower than the walking speed in most games. It's painful. Black Mage Sipe says, that's neat, but I just 100% of the game recently, and I really didn't add anything substantial enough to make me in a hurry to revisit the game. I wish they would have taken the advice I gave them on Steam for some new achievements while they were at it. I really wish I had the ability to check out RoboCop Rogue City. Were you anticipating this game, even if you didn't have a chance to play it?
I always wanted to play RoboCop, the first-person shooting game ever. In my perspective, it feels like the first ever RoboCop game in a while, and it's been anticipated for years since the RoboCop reboot from 2014 and all. Problem though is that RoboCop has limitations to his moves or his movements, and I was expected for it to be like a slower pace type of first-person shooter in a sense. So, I mean, it's going to be expected to be in a slower pace with RoboCop with the RoboCop game. There's no more to it or to less of it to begin with. Now, yes, it'd be nice if RoboCop could sprint faster, dodge a bullet with no problems, whatever. But he's a cyborg. He's a cop with a titanium alloy. Last time I checked, it says most of the bullets are bulletproof. So you just
I don't think it's. I don't think it's titanium alloy. Isn't that what the card was made out of in Metal Gear Solid?
I'm not sure, but okay.
I don't think RoboCop's armor is like changing shapes in different temperatures.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like it's something where it's like it's way better than steel, way better than iron. So
Yeah.
it's way better than, but combined, those two elements, two
Yeah.
entities. So when I think of titanium alloy, I think of like some high tech where it's like, it's not bendable at the same time. It is bendable, but it's very hard to a point where it's like bulletproof of most bullets, if not all bullets. So it's kind of like whatever. So I expect
Yep.
RoboCop the game to be like, a different FPS game than all other FPS games combined, and if it's distinct, style of gameplay. Like you're not gonna be moving like fucking, Max Payne or fucking Bulletproof Time, whatever, or what's the other first-person shooter games like Vanquish and shit like that,
Right.
So
Yeah. So I mean, I was actually anticipating this game. I would love to check it out. I think it's only on Xbox Series though. So I probably wouldn't have been able to check it out unless it's on Game Pass, and I would have been able to play it through the cloud. But yeah, I mean, I do have to say that's kind of stupid that New Game Plus is being added in. Because I mean, if you look at Max Payne 2 on PlayStation 2, they had that harder difficulty mode. I don't know about New Game Plus, but they had the hardest difficulty mode. In Max Payne 2, it's the one where Mona Saxton actually survives at the end.
let's call it Dead on Arrival
Dead on Arrival, that's the name of the difficulty?
for Max Payne. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. In Max Payne 2, you could play Dead on Arrival once you beat the game on a easier difficulty, if you really wanted a challenge. But in today's games, they're adding that in months after release. So I just hope it's free and they don't have to pay, and players don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to see lately with games like the Yakuza games, like a Dragon or the newest
Yeah,
one. Like I hear there's a paywall behind what you want to play in that game too. So if they're trying to make players pay for more, for a better, for a harder difficulty, or for more content overall, that's shady right there. Like you pay good money. The price went up to $70 on average for a video game. You want to put more shit behind a paywall? Like what's wrong with these gamers? Not gamers, the game makers. The studio
yeah, the
makers.
developers.
Yeah,
Or actually, the publishers. I think the developers make the game, but the publishers decide what it's going to sell for.
yeah, those investors especially, they want to be like, hey, let's try to milk more from the gamers by forcing them to pay another $30 per stack or a bundle, whatever it is. You know.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, but if you enjoyed RoboCop Rogue City, you'll have another reason to go through it. New game plus and another difficulty being added.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to move on?
Alrighty.
Okay. Next, Fortnite now has Metal Gear Solid 2 Raiden as well as Snake, but
Jesus
no Rising
Christ.
variant. Like Solid Snake stealthily escaping Shadow Moses, Epic stuck out Metal Gear's favorite sidekick Raiden as part of the V2.8 28.10 update. The Raiden currently available to buy in Fortnite is the version of the character from Metal Gear Solid 2, not, as some had wondered or hoped, from the more recent and eternally memed Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. You can check Fortnite's Raiden working with Snake in the video below. And while you can choose to play as Raiden with his helmet on or off, Fortnite does not include a naked Raiden skin, unfortunately. Still, that hasn't dampened some of the enthusiastic reaction to Raiden's Fortnite incarnation, with fans pointing out he looks ever so slightly different in the waist and balls department. Perhaps Raiden shouldn't complain, giving Epic stripped Solid Snake of his epic ass. Who wrote this?
A girl, most likely.
Okay, so and I think the rest is just reactions on Twitter. Perhaps Raiden skins from Metal Gear Solid 4 and Rising Revengeance will come at a later date. Until then, Fortnite players can rekindle memories of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Now Raiden is in the mix. They're showing tweets from... Yeah, okay, so let's see. They're showing a bunch of tweets. I'm trying to find reactions to the article. Just one moment. Okay, not there. So I'll just ask you while I'm looking for it. What do you think of Raiden from Metal Gear Solid being in
Fortnite, yeah.
Fortnite?
Yeah, I mean, I say it's not expected. I say it's expected at the same time. Well, except for the fact that the naked scene, I'm not sure about that part because that's against Fortnite rated E for everyone. So again, dude, you can't have your kicking it too, my ladies. Okay, so. But on a serious note, Raiden, Solid Snake, it's a never-ending quest for them to have a lot of IPs to their game. Star Wars and Metal Gear Solid and Fortnite,
Eminem.
Eminem, yeah, other rappers, perhaps even civil activist leaders like that of Dr. King and Malcolm X, if ever.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, if if they actually have skins of these leaders, I'm like, God damn, they're very desperate.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well, I just want to find just go over the comments. J Tame says, I don't play Fortnite, but I'm always blown away at how many IPs they've gotten a chance to work with. This collaboration with Konami has made me question if I should play. I'm a sucker for Metal Gear Solid content. Someone says, I made fun of Fortnite for years, then tried it out with my son, and now I'm hooked. I have no problem dropping some money every once in a while. The amount of fun I'm having with the game, once you embrace the zany, hyperactive gameplay, it's really a good time. And someone says, the PlayStation All-Stars tweet has a great point and really makes you wonder where someone like Jack could show up. kind of perfectly suited for Fortnite. Yeah, Jack and Daxter,
Mm.
definitely. Yeah, so if you play Fortnite, um, you can play as Raiden, and maybe you could team up with someone who's playing as Solid Snake, and you can rekindle the metal teamwork in Metal Gear Solid.
But also add Liquid Snake and Solid Snake at this rate.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Like the brothers in
I
arms.
don't know how many people would care about Solid as Snake, but definitely Liquid.
Yeah, Solid
Because,
Snake is an underrated character back in the day. Like, because he was because
well, Solid as Snake was in Metal Gear Solid 2, and it's just that Metal Gear Solid 2 is kind of like the black sheep of the Metal Gear series.
yeah, it threw all Metal Gear Solid fans out of the loop for a while. Not a while, but a good portion of the game series. Because I was expecting to see play Solid Snake throughout most of the game in Metal Gear Solid 2, but I think there's a reason why they put Raiden in there because of some of the censorship and all the the bad stuff on the police state and all the censorship and all. So pretty cool stuff back there with that game, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So if you're playing Fortnite, Raiden is now available. It's his Metal Gear Solid 2 attire. So like the Foxhound outfit that he wore, you could have it with or without the helmet. Um, Future outfits from future games, only time will tell if they're coming.
Definitely.
But it's definitely a possibility since they added Raiden to begin with.
And it must cost Fortnite how much money so far to get all these IPs into all one of their games. Kind of
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. Dead by Daylight studio Behavior Interactive has reportedly laid off 45 people. Dead by Daylight developer Behavior Interactive has reportedly laid off 45 people, Kotaku has learned. The publication says that with knowledge of the situation at the studio, said layoffs only affected people at Behavior's Montreal, Canada studio, with those 45 affected let go last week between the 9th and 11th. However, Kotaku notes it was also told layoffs at the company began in December. The layoffs reportedly included cuts in various departments at the studio. Last month, Behavior Interactive announced it was working with Until Dawn developer Supermassive Games on the casting of Frank Stone, a new single-player game set in the Dead by Daylight universe. Game Informer has reached out to Behavior Interactive PR to ask for confirmation of these layoffs, and if affected employees will receive severance and will update the story if it learns more. Yeah, so we're not going to go over the history of cuts again. Let me go to the comments, though, if there is any. Matharak says, it being the end of quarter four for a lot of companies, we will be witnessing more. We shall see if Nintendo does and or doesn't join the list of companies laying off employees this year. Xbox and PlayStation has been hit, with Nintendo still standing as the one who hasn't done so yet. And Chickless says, must be due to bad behavior. So
Mm-hmm.
this is weird because we heard about Dead by Daylight getting uh, um, Alan Wake as a character and new game mode. So I figured Dead by Daylight would their studio would be one that's safe, but apparently not.
Yeah, and also been added other projects and add-ons to Dead by Daylight as well, like the
The
LGBT
Frank Stone
stuff,
game, yeah.
LGBT stuff, and what's the other thing that they added? Um, Man, I forgot the other ones. You said Alan Wake. That's one of them, of course.
Well, they had, if you're talking about Dead by Daylight, they added people like Chucky as a killer.
Yeah, like what? I mean, you tell me like no one wanted to buy Dead by Daylight after that. Like that was weird. That's oh wow. And they said to
Yeah,
lay off
so
people.
yep. So unfortunate, like I said, like I say, no studio is safe. Unfortunately, and I like I said, I thought Dead by Daylight was doing well enough to where we weren't going to hear about this from them, but
Yeah, I was expecting
just
I expected the studio behavior interactive to to stay in there for another few more months at most, but I guess not.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it sucks. They're not, but we will be hearing more about other studios near the end of the podcast. So they're not the only ones. Ready to move on?
I want to say this though. I want to place a bet, some an imaginary bet. Like, who's to say that by Christmas 2024, most of the gaming studios will be either cut off more people or to be out of business, and the gaming market will just be like a severe, cutting up bloat severely to the point where it's like it's not non-functionable. You want to place that bet, Triple J?
Um, I guess it. I don't know. I wouldn't bet against that at this rate. I mean, if this is how the beginning of the year is going, look, imagine how much worse it's going to be at the end of the year.
Because we still have going through that zombie economy moment, and with the 2008 crisis. My sounds like I'm just talking about it based on my analysis and opinion, but I think that analysis opinion is going to turn into reality to the point where it's like as long as the makers or the movers and shakers of this economy keep continuing to put it on life support, it's just going to be more bloat be cut or more layoffs be cut and stuff like that. So it's ridiculous, you know.
Yep. Well, like I said, yeah, just shows you no studio is safe.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought this one was doing fine with Alan with Dead by Daylight and the Martin Stone game, and nope, not even this one.
Hmm.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. Next, World War II horror game Martha is Dead is getting a movie. The 2022 World War II horror game Martha is Dead is the latest video game getting a film adaptation. The game's Indian developer LKA is partnering with production company Studios Extraordinaires to bring the psychological adventure to the big screen. Martha is Dead is a first-person adventure that follows identical twin sisters, Gilia, the protagonist, and Martha, set in Tuscany in 1944 during the final stretch of World War II. The sisters are fathered by a Nazi general and have a strained relationship due to the clear favoritism Martha receives from their mother. However, Martha is suddenly found dead, and their mother mistakenly believes Giulia to be Martha, forcing her to assume her late sister's identity. Supernatural occurrences abound, centering on the malevolent entity known as the White Lady. The film follows the same premise. Studios Extraordinaire is led by screenwriter-directors Andrei Hedaroff and Andreas Trotzen, and the company's website states that it's a creative powerhouse writing and making high-end action, horror, and science fiction films from original movies and extraordinary games. The studio is also working on bringing last year's sci-fi horror game Fort Solis to TV and film, as well as a movie adaptation of the upcoming horror shooter Veil. We didn't particularly enjoy what Martha is Dead had to offer as a gameplay experience. In his review, editor Wesley LeBlanc scored the experience a 6 out of 10, writing, LKA's love of Italy is the only warmth I felt in Martha is Dead. The West left me feeling as cold as Gilia's dead sister. Given the recent success of video game films like the Super Mario Bros. Movie and Five Nights at Freddy's, here's hoping Martha is Dead can achieve even a fraction of that success. Or at the very least, we hope it makes for a better movie than a video game. Sounds like an interesting story, I do have to say. A couple comments. RME33 goes, Paul, what other mediocre games should be made into movies? And Tim stands on goes, I promise you this, Martha won't die tonight.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember hearing about this game. Do you remember
Yeah,
hearing
well,
about it?
yeah, did we do a coverage of it back in 2022 by any chance? No?
And I don't think so. No.
I hope we're not going through a Mandela effect, my guys, because this is ridiculous. Like between Triple J and I, we cover a lot of shit over the last 3 years now, because of gaming, especially, obviously. And I never heard of Martha is Dead in the actual movie title as well as a game of itself.
Well, the
So
movie's not. Well, the movie's coming out, but yeah, we never heard about the game. I mean, we were doing the podcast in 2022, so we would have heard about it, but I don't remember discussing it at all.
yeah, same here, man. I'm
Let me
lost too.
Let me go to BitChute, my channel on BitChute. Maybe we just don't remember covering it.
Yeah, we
Um,
lose our brain cells as we get older, guys. Don't worry, it's part of aging.
yeah. So let me see. Rapper JJJ, Martha.
Because the average brain cell lasts between 30 to 50 years, so we're in our 30s right now, guys. So you know what's going to happen in the next 20 years. Gonna be next Joe Biden's, right, Triple J? You know.
If I end up like him, just kill me now.
Yeah, I mean, mumbling on stage like the other day he did.
Yeah, we never covered it. There's nothing. There's no videos by us. I typed in my username on BitChute and Martha is dead, and nothing came up.
They likewise to me, I bet too, if I did the same.
Yeah, so I'll check. See, Doctor Games 101. No matches were found. We never covered it.
Okay. Weird, guys. Sorry if we ever covered it back in 2022 at the time. I'm sure it's a good game to play still.
Yeah, it does sound. It does. The story does sound interesting. So I think it will make a good movie, just depending on how they do it. But like
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like the pieces are there.
Yeah.
You know, they got a good story. They just got to get the right actresses and the right location
Mm-hmm.
because it's supposed to take place in World War II. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I can move on.
All right. Oh, before we do move on, one question in the comment section. What other mediocre games would you like to see turned into movies? Dog Games 101. Do you have any game franchises you'd like to see turned into a movie?
Well, we already see Silent Hill turn into a movie a couple of times so far, so that's out of the question. Um, I don't think I can think of the only thing I can think of any game to be turned into a movie would be like I would say um, Men in Black. Well, Men in Black was a movie originally. It was a
Yeah, Men in
it
Black
was a
was a
book,
movie that became
and
a game.
it was a book too as well too. If I recall quickly as well. So I can't think of any right now. So I'm empty right now.
Yeah, I mean Max Payne was a good game, but the movie was awful.
Yeah,
Um,
Mark Wahlberg did an okay job in Max Payne. It's just that they kind of screwed up the placements of the story and all. So it would be nice if they would should have done is actually made a sequel, if not a trilogy by now, with Mark Wahlberg before he gets too old, and turn it to a Max Payne trilogy somehow, some way right now. You know?
yeah. So I'm just thinking. I can't really think of any games I'd want to see turned into a movie. Um, yeah, just no franchises come to mind. Maybe Final Fantasy 8 or Final Fantasy 13.
Oh yeah. And I already have Final Fantasy movies like The Spirits Within. That was an okay movie.
Yeah.
It was a spin off from the other Final Fantasy games though.
Okay. So maybe that. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of other games. Yeah, I can't think of any.
The only thing I think of right now is either Fable, the video games, maybe if it played it right properly.
Well, I
Fable
like the
maybe,
story of Fable 3, so.
yeah. The first Fable especially, you know.
Oh, okay. I wasn't a fan of Fable, the first one.
Yeah, I played the anniversary edition of Fable, first Fable, and it's all right. The first hour or so.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, though, and I really can't name any other series I'd like to see turned into a movie.
Okay,
So ready to move on?
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next, Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl following launches in September. Developer GSC Game World will finally release Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl on September 5th. The first-person shooter will launch on Xbox Series and PC. The studio announced this release date in a quick trailer released today, which also calls September 5th the final release date, indicating GSC Game World is confident it won't be delaying its long-awaited shooter any longer. The game was set to release in the first quarter of 2024 before today's delay. Officially confirmed in 2020, Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl has taken some time to get off the ground after various starts and stops. Then, following what appeared to be smoother development, the team paused its work in February 2022 due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, where GSC Game World is based. Employees were forced to evacuate their homes in places like Kyiv, which is Ukraine's capital. Some employees even volunteered to fight for Ukraine. Developer Vladimir Fresh Yeshov was killed in combat in 2022, as reported by GameWare. In December 2022, GSC Game World returned with a new Stalker 2 gameplay trailer, and we've been waiting on the game ever since. It was set to launch in 2023 before it was delayed to quarter one of this year, and now we know it's coming to Xbox Series and PC on September 5th. Are you going to check out Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl when it launches later this year? Let me check comments. There's just one. Joel says, killing in the battle like ones he helped depict is definitely some poetic irony. Rest in peace to that guy, hoping the game honors him. Yeah. Are you willing? Are you going to be checking out this game or?
I did see a trailer of Stalker 2 earlier last year, late last year. It's all right. It looks like all right to play and watch, of course. Um, Personally, I never saw never played a game, the first one, the first Stalker game.
Yeah.
So I can't say much about Stalker 2. That's why I still want to get it right away. So I want to play the first one first, see how that is, and take it from there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't have Xbox Series, so obviously I'm not going to check it out. I don't have Game Pass, so I can't even play it on the cloud.
The cloud game is starting to get better, though, I have to say, because now that all the Xbox Series X and S games are available on the cloud for Xbox One players. So that's good of us right there to try them out. But we just need Game Pass to keep them coming, you know?
Yeah. I think they're going to do that. I think so. Like, even if you just have an Xbox One, you'll still be able to play next gen games if via the cloud.
Yes. Like
Because
the
that seems
Tokyo Wonder
that seems
or
to be a
whatever it's called.
requirement for Xbox. They if it's going to be on Game Pass via the cloud, they want the game to be compatible for Xbox One.
Definitely.
Um, yeah. So I really don't have anything else to say about this game. Um,
Likewise.
yeah. Hopefully, when it comes out, it's good. That's the best I can. That's the most I can say about it.
Yeah, let's go do some deep intake on the conspiracy theories behind the Chernobyl incident from 1970s and 80s. You know, that's something right to look into, and then take it from there. But you gotta be like a conspiracy theorist at best for to understand this particular game, most likely. If you want to the specifics of the Chernobyl incident, you know.
Right. I'm gonna get something to drink, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, well, I'll be back in a minute too.
All right. I'm back. Just wait for Dr. Games 101 to get back before we continue. Well, let's see if I can play some music while we wait in the meantime. Let's see, music.
Okay, Triple J, I'm back.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks for
I was
waiting,
just
guys.
looking. I was just looking for some music to play while we waited.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
you ready to move on?
Yeah, well, we're ready to move on.
Okay. Next, Foam Stars launches in February as a PlayStation Plus monthly game. Square Enix's foam-drenched online shooter is going live next month, and it will be a PlayStation Plus monthly game. For those subscribers looking to add it to their library, or for non-subscribers looking to purchase the game outright, Foam Stars launches exclusively on PlayStation 4 and 5 on February 6th. As for the game itself, Foam Stars is a 4 versus 4 online multiplayer game where players take on the role of the titular Foam Stars of varying classes and abilities to participate in a game called Foam Smash. Rather than simply shooting your opponent, the goal is to coat them with enough foam so that you can slide kick them to knock them out of the match. The foam also changes the layout of the arena by creating traversable hills and defensive walls, and you can move through your own foam faster than your opponent's foam. The game has drawn positive comparisons to Splatoon since its reveal. Publisher Square Enix has plans to support the game with seasonal updates for a year, including new characters, maps, and modes. The season pass for each season will cost $5.99 at launch. There will be three PvP modes. There's the standard Happy Bath survival mode. Smash the Star encourages players to go after the opposing team's most successful player. If you're that player, you have the advantage of a few bonuses like more health and the ability to do more damage. And in Rubber Duck Party, your team must climb aboard a giant rubber duck to advance to your team's goal. You can check screenshots of the various maps for these modes below. Alongside the competitive multiplayer modes, there are also single-player and co-op experiences. There is a mission mode to protect Bath Vegas, the fictional city where Foam Stars takes place, from waves of bubble beasties. The Foam Star athletes will also chat and have conversations during these modes to highlight their personalities. Anytime, weekly, and season-limited challenges will also permeate all the modes. We had a chance to speak with the development team briefly about the game and asked if we can expect any Square Enix collaborations, to which producer Kosuke Okatani, seen on the left in avatar form, said nothing is confirmed yet. We are considering such things, but we would definitely like to have such collaborations. Square Enix has a cast of iconic characters, so it's pretty exciting what could be possible in the future. Okatani and the team shared a similar answer about potential K-pop collaborations, as the game's art style and direction are heavily inspired by the fashion and music movement. Foam Stars will be available for PlayStation Plus monthly subscribers to add to their library between February 6th and March 4th. Standalone, the game will be $29.99. Let's look at comments. Someone said, I shall be there to try it. And another one person saying they would try it. We don't have PlayStation 4 or 5, but I do remember covering a trailer of Foam Stars.
Yes, we did.
Do you remember? Does this sound like something you would like to cover if we did have PlayStation 4 or 5?
It looks like something similar to the Foam Star gameplay. Looks like similar to that of a Splatoon.
Yeah, but it's foam instead of paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like it, and from what I'm imagining, because it sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds so it's definitely something I would try. If I had PlayStation 4 or 5, unfortunately I don't. But it's going to be out soon. But it's coming February 6th, so it's only about a week away before it'll be available.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got something, whether you like single player or co-op or competitive online, it sounds like there's going to be something for everyone. So
Definitely.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
Okay. Next. Frostpunk 2 gets stress-inducing gameplay trailer launching day one on PC Game Pass. Developer 11-Bit Studio has unveiled the first full look at Frostpunk 2 gameplay. First announced in August 2021, the sequel to the bleak yet popular city builder is also coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass. The trailer provides a look at how decision-making appears in-game. The demands you'll receive from your citizens appear to be as stressful as the first Frostpunk, as you control a steward overseeing life in a city situated an unforgiving tundra where resources are precious and everyone has their own idea of how society should function. How do you ensure everyone gets fed? What does the education system look like? How do you keep the streets clean of literal and criminal filth? See, 30 years after the original game, citizens can vote to pass laws, and these decisions steer the city's direction toward multiple outcomes and finales. 11-Bit Studios also announced that Frostpunk 2 is launching on PC Game Pass alongside Steam, the Epic Store, and GOG in the first half of 2024. The game will also come to Game Pass on Xbox Series at a later date, as targeting PlayStation 5 as well. Let's look at the comments. Here they are. Looks interesting. Can't wait to play Frostpunk 2. And these trailers tell us nothing about the gameplay, as unfortunately happens to be the case a lot. Does Frostpunk 2 sound like a game you would want to play?
If I remember correctly, that's based on like some sort of action adventure game of sorts, first person style, by any chance?
No, no. It's like running. It's basically running a small town. And you have to keep at least a majority of the citizens happy.
Oh, it's like one of those stimulators,
Yeah,
simulators. Okay. Oh, because I think of Force Punk, I think of like first person, third person, like action adventure type of shit. But so I was wrong about that matter. Yeah, as you can
yeah.
tell, yeah, as you can tell, I haven't watched the trailers in months now. The Force Punk games, so
Yeah, but unfortunately, like the latest trailer doesn't even show what gameplay is going to be like. It just shows a story. So
okay. Yeah, I can't really say much on this one, my friends. Sorry.
yeah, it sounds fun, but I mean, it could be a great game like SimCity or Tropico, or it could be a bad game like City Skyline. I mean, but it sounds like it's going to fall somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
All right. Games leaving PlayStation Plus Extra in February revealed. You have been warned. Sony has revealed the games leaving PlayStation Plus Extra later in February via the Last Chance to Play section of the PlayStation 5 dashboard. According to the PS5's Last Chance to Play PlayStation Plus tab, 10 PlayStation 4 games are set to leave the subscription catalog, probably on February 20th when the next round of games are set to be added. Here's the list of games leaving PlayStation Plus. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, Hue, I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, Lost Words Beyond the Page, Ononaki, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Tacoma, Tekken 7, and Thomas Was Alone. While Tekken 8 is nearly upon us, it makes sense Tekken 7 would be pulled from PlayStation Plus Extra. You now have a month to play these games before they are removed. The full lineup of PlayStation Plus games catalog additions for January 2024, which went live January 16th, includes Resident Evil 2, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Just Cause 3, and more. A total of 14 games are joining the library, 9 in the games catalog available to Extra and Premium members, and 5 in the Classic Games catalog only available to Premium members. Let me look at the comments. Waiko Song says, I really enjoyed the 3 Tokyo Factory RPG games. They were a lot of fun. Not AAA masterpieces, but a fun ride nonetheless. Drink More Patron 3 says, Rage comments keep the same energy as Sony fanboys when games leave Game Pass. To be fair, Game Pass is far less expensive than PlayStation Now, especially if you got the most expensive tier. And someone says, I may have to play through Amanaki before it leaves. So, even though we both have Xbox, do you want to talk about any of these games that are leaving before we move on?
Yeah, there's 2 specific games I was thinking of that should keep on to the PlayStation's lineup for the month or 2 at least longer. Tekken 8, Tekken 7, obviously they're gonna take from the store. Well, they should
Yeah.
keep it on for another like 6 more months into like the Tekken 8 lineup, because what happens is that Tekken 8s have a connection problems going on the internet to play online. So give it like 6 months at the most. They'll sort things out altogether, everything on Tekken 8, and people can afford it too by then. It's like because they've just bought Tekken 7 on sale for about what $10, $15, whatever. I got my copy less than $10 on the PC game last year or two. So I've been playing Tekken 7 whenever I can on the PC version, even though I lack the credentials to play properly with the computer specs I have installed. So it works well with like if it's under like a resolution of about was it 840 by 500 some shit like that, or 840 by 600, and then play the VSync, turn on VSync and all, and then lower and create and everything low, um, texture details, low shadow details, etc., etc. So the more it's good for gamers like me to play Tekken 7 still. Um, but to those like I say, if you can't afford Tekken 8, it's like $70. No, that it's like $80, $90 for the decent copy for all the characters at least, or most of the characters at starting point. You had to spend like $90 to $100 for the special package, and who can afford $100 so easily just from buying that shit, you know? So, so shame on Sony for not making it affordable to where it's like have people play Tekken 7 more while Tekken 8 is still finishing up its gritty online services, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah. Obviously, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. I know it's old, but um, I guess I can understand it leaving as long as they have Village on there. I don't know if they do.
hmm
Tekken 7, you basic. Yeah, I agree. Why not keep Tekken 7 at least till Tekken 8 comes?
Well,
Um,
Tekken 8 is already here. It's been out for a couple of days now. I'm just saying the fact that it's been having connection problems for the last couple of days of its release. So by the
oh,
third,
okay.
yeah, so by the third month at least, no more than the sixth month, they should fix up the fuckery of the connection. You know.
Keep Tekken 7 until Tekken all the kinks with Tekken 8 is worked out.
Yes, that's how I would
But
do it. If I have my
unfortunately,
own gaming console and I want people to play my newest fighting game, whichever it is, I would have to play the old games for the first 4 months after the release of the newest fighting game. That's how I look at it.
right. Unfortunately, though, these games are on their way out, so you might want to buy them or at least finish them up before they leave.
Yeah, and the second game I mentioned too, I want to continue talking about is Tacoma. It's a good game overall. The first hour I had a good experience of it. Darkside Phil played it many years ago on back in 2017, 2018, give or take, that when it came out. And I saw him playing it for the first hour, and it was pretty good. So I played it for the first hour, and it was all right still under my own fruition of playing it. So, and
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, yep, so these games are on their way out, though. If you're on the PlayStation 5, you could they said you can see it from the dashboard. Um, I never played Tacoma, so I can't say anything about that.
you should try to
But need
play
to
it.
move. Huh?
You should get a copy. It should be on sale on Steam at least for about $15.
Okay, well, I never really had any interest in playing it, so.
Yeah. Well, that's if you
What,
want to
what,
have a good experience at a different place, of different.
okay. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees across Xbox, Activision Blizzard, and ZeniMax. There's an update, so I'll read the original article. I'll read the original article and then I'll go back to the update. Wow, this is a long update. That's a second update. Damn, this thing was... Okay, the original story continues below. Microsoft is laying off roughly 1,900 employees across its Xbox, Activision Blizzard, and ZeniMax teams. This news comes by way of IGN, which has learned from sources that Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer sent a memo to his staff explaining the layoffs. Spencer cites the need to align strategy with a sustainable cost structure. Notably, Microsoft spent $69 billion in October to acquire Call of Duty and Overwatch maker Activision Blizzard, and it spent $7.5 billion in 2020 to acquire ZeniMax Media. It's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King teams joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're all aligned to the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we have made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of the 22,000 people on our team. The gaming leadership team and I are committed to navigating this process as thoughtfully as possible. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part in the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and the Xbox teams, and they should be proud of everything they've accomplished here. We are grateful for all the creativity, passion, and dedication they have brought to our games, our players, and our colleagues. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with the respect and compassion that is consistent with our values. Now you're gonna spit on them as they leave for the final time. Looking ahead, we'll continue to invest in areas that will grow our business and support our strategy of bringing more games to more players around the world. Although this is a difficult moment for our team, I'm as confident as ever in your ability to create and nurture the games, stories, and worlds that bring players together. These jobs come just a week after Xbox's 2024 Developer Direct Showcase, which is what we learned. Senua's Sage Hellblade 2 will be released in May, what the first-person combat in Obsidian's Avowed looks like, and that Square Enix Vision's Amana hits PlayStation, Xbox, and PC this summer. We also got our first look at Horror History Untold, and the first taste of gameplay from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, or the Perfect Hexagon, or whatever that IGN editor called it. Machine Game's first-person take on the famed archaeologist that hits Xbox later this year. These Microsoft layoffs join a string of other jobs, which total more than 5,500 in the first 25 days of the year. I'm not going to cover all of this again. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to the updates because there have been a couple updates since the original story came out.
Right.
This update came out a couple days ago, so Thursday morning. Blizzard President Mike Yara has announced he is departing from the company. He was not laid off as part of Microsoft's 1,900 job cuts across its various gaming divisions, but the timing suggests the layoffs and his decision to leave are at least tangentially related. Here's what Yahara wrote on Twitter. I want to thank everyone who was impacted today for their meaningful contributions to their team, to Blizzard, and to players' lives. It's an incredibly hard day, and my energy and support will be focused on all those amazing individuals impacted. This is in no way a reflection on your amazing work. If there's anything I can help with, connections, recommendations, etc., DM me. To the Blizzard community, I also want to let you know today is my last day at Blizzard. Leading Blizzard through an incredible time and being part of the team, shaping it for the future ahead was an absolute honor. Having already spent over 20 years at Microsoft, and with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard behind us, it's time for me to once again become Blizzard's biggest fan from the outside. To the incredible teams at Blizzard, thank you. Words can't express how I feel about all of you. You're amazing. Continue to do incredible things and always keep Blizzard Blue and the player at the forefront of every decision. To all of those impacted today, I'm always available to you and understand how challenging today's news is. My heart is with each one of you. Yahara has worked at Blizzard since 2019, first as Executive Vice President and General Manager of Platform and Technology before becoming President of the company in 2021. Before that, he worked for Microsoft for more than 19 years in various positions like Corporate Vice President of Xbox Live and Game Pass and Partner Studio Manager for Xbox Studios. Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier is also reporting that Alan Adham, Chief Design Officer and Blizzard founder, is leaving the company following these layoffs, and at Odyssey, the studio's in-development survival game has been canceled. That's the first update. Now let's go to the other update. Okay, here we go. This update happened a couple days ago in the afternoon.
I see.
So about 5 hours after the first update that I read. The Verge obtained the full internal memo sent to staff by Microsoft's game content and studios president Matt Booty. In it, he says following today's layoffs, the company is moving forward with a more focused strategy across Microsoft Gaming that sets up for sustainable growth and a better alignment of talent. Booty also addresses Blizzard president Mike Ybarra's departure and the cancellation of its in-development survival game project. He said Blizzard's next president will be announced next week. Um, so I'm besides so I'm just going to skip the memo and stick to the news. Those who are impacted being informed in meetings starting today. Given the challenging day ahead, anyone who is set up to work from home and would prefer to can work remotely today. Due to time zones and local holidays, some impacted employees in APAC and EMEA will be informed later this evening and into early next week. After the notifications are complete, leaders will bring their teams together. Please be mindful of this process in your conversations and outreach during these next few days. Details on today's action. The changes announced today reflect a focus on product and strategies that hold the most promise for Blizzard's future growth, as well as identified area of overlap across Blizzard and Microsoft Gaming. Today's actions affect multiple teams within Blizzard, including development teams, shared service organizations, and corporate functions. As part of this focus, Blizzard is ending development on its survival game project and will be shifting some of the people working on it to one of several promising new projects Blizzard has in the early stages of development. No matter the reason behind these decisions, they are never made lightly. Changes like this affect the lives of colleagues and friends, and we are all grateful for their meaningful contributions to Blizzard and the world-class lineup of games. As Phil stated, we will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. I understand this is a challenging time and can be a lot to process. I haven't met many of you yet, and hearing about these decisions from me may be difficult. Today, I am here on Blizzard's Inline campus, and I'm personally committed to supporting you as teams and individuals, keeping you informed and approaching this transition period with care and transparency. Thank you for working these changes with us. Together, we will create amazing games for our players with a culture that empowers everyone to be the most authentic selves and do their best work. Okay, this is weird. I mean, Microsoft purchases Activision Blizzard, and the first thing they do is lay off nearly 2,000 people.
Oh yeah.
You know, I remember when it came through that the acquisition was final, it went through. We were thinking, wow, you know, games that are going to hit Game Pass. Look at the franchises they now have. No, they're just releasing 2,000 people.
Oh yeah.
I know Ubisoft, or not Ubisoft, I know Activision Blizzard had its own lawsuit problems that happened before Microsoft purchased them. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but it sounds like for people who are rooting for the acquisition to go through, this is what they're doing with it.
I mean, a bit of more they could chew, Microsoft, and it's want to cut the bloat as well to whatever bloat they're thinking of, if it is bloat.
Yeah, let me pull up the article again. I didn't check the comments. I want to see if there is anything in the comments. There are comments. Let's see if I can pull them up.
And you expect Microsoft to be a multi-billion-dollar company where you still have billions to spend or billions to maintain, but you know, $7 billion is no chump change right there. So if they overspent, then that's their problem. You know.
Yeah. Zhang Master says, for me, I think spending $69 billion was a bad deal. All that money, and they turn around and can all those people. They always say like painful decision, like they actually care. Hope everyone bounces back. Ashman says, I agree it was a bad deal. Call of Duty seems like it has steadily been going downhill with this last year being the worst. I wonder how Diablo 4 numbers are doing. Drew Cheats says, D4 came out of the Diablo 4 came out of the gate like gangbusters. Highest selling Blizzard game upon release in their history, allegedly. But it's in a rough spot right now due to over-exaggerated player expectations and a general misunderstanding among new players on how seasons work. Blizzard shares in a fall as well as the game is spread too thin but with each season they seem making improvements and heading in the right direction, in my honest opinion. Yeah, so that's basically the first guy. Let me pull up his name again. Zangmaster. He said the same thing I did. They had access to over 20 different new franchises, and this is what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to say, or
Well,
ready to move on?
I want to say, I mean, we're already made our peace with it several months over the last couple of years, and it's like, you know, what's they're going to do? They're going to try to cut more workers in the process to maintain that $7 billion threshold they overcompensate for. I mean, that's their fault, Microsoft, for pulling that amount off for it to be risky and all. So,
Yeah,
because PlayStation, what did they put? How many studios so far? Like $1 billion here, 5 billion here, but 70 billion from Activision Blizzard. That's like, yes, it's a big company, Activision Blizzard, for all the games they produce and sold for
and then they spent
profit. You know,
and then they spent $7.5 billion on ZeniMax.
crazy man, just crazy. All these acquisitions for what? For just the sake of like make sure that there's competition coming to making. You know, that's bad on their part, Microsoft. Like PlayStation's not that big to begin with, but it's big enough to maintain its own. You know.
Right. Yeah. So, um, we were happy when we. I remember when we heard the news that the acquisition went through. We were. Remember, I pulled up the franchises that Microsoft now had access to, and we were picking out games we were hoping that would get a sequel or a remake.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is what they did instead.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Sounds like you just could have taken that money and thrown it off a bridge.
Well, like Phil Spencer said, he admits defeat at the same time for Microsoft Activision and is on his part. Like, I don't think it's totally his fault or his actual command or his own actual fruition in making that happen. But he has have a hand involved with that acquisition over the last couple of years now. So he knows better that $7 billion is way too much money, or that he should have done is actually done something more with that money, with like maintaining that power over other gaming companies, which they're trying to do with this acquisition. So it's a big one for them to do, but it's
But the way he can make that money back is by like I said, by bringing back those IPs that have been dormant for years.
yeah. And he said one of them was the 50 Cent video game. What was it called again?
Bulletproof and then Blood on the Sand.
Yeah, that's those games back on the franchise again, on franchise block.
Well, if they bring Bulletproof again, at least make the hit detection better.
Yeah. Have
Blood on
like
the Sand actually was pretty well.
like a remaster of the game.
Yeah. Well, no. Instead, they did this.
There's the difference. Actually, the next game did
Ready,
the same thing too.
yeah. Ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Unfortunately, the hits keep coming. Riot Games lays off 530 or 11% of staff.
Hmm.
Axe's Riot Forge label. League of Legends developer, excuse me, says the changes are a necessity and not to appease shareholders. Riot Games is laying off roughly 530 people, or about 11% of its global workforce, in a move the company says is a necessity and not to appease shareholders. In a letter to staff shared publicly, Riot Games CEO A. Dylan Jaja explained that the layoffs are occurring because since 2019, the company has been making a number of big bets, broadening our portfolio and growing quickly, with the company size doubling in just a few years. However, those big bets do not seem to be paying off in the way Riot hoped. Today, we're a company without a sharp enough focus, and simply put, we have too many things underway. Some of the significant investments we made aren't paying off the way we expected them to. Our costs have grown to the point where they're unsustainable, and we've left ourselves with no room for experimentation or failure, which is vital to a creative company like ours. All of this puts the core of our business at risk. Over the past several months, we've tried to alter our trajectory in many different ways. We asked leaders to make trade-offs in the things that teams are working on. We rolled out hiring slowdowns and, in some cases, hiring freezes. We put an emphasis on controlling costs while strengthening our revenue growth, all of which has without a doubt been tough for our teams. But as I've dug in with leaders across Riot, it's become clear that all of us, these changes aren't enough. We have to do more to focus our business and center our efforts on the things that drive the most player value, the things that are truly worth players' time. Unfortunately, this involves making changes in the area where we invest the most, our headcount. JJ goes on to explain the plan for the layoffs rollout, which will begin over the next hour and finalize in the coming weeks depending on local laws. Wyatt is offering 6 months of salary minimum to all laid off, cash bonuses, and a number of additional benefits and supports. Additionally, the company is asking everyone to cancel meetings in the coming week and work from home if possible while team members process the situation. In addition to the layoffs, Riot Games is also axing its Riot Forge label following the release of Bandle Riot Forge was announced in December of 2019 as an indie publishing label to produce games from third-party studios using Riot IP. In the ensuing years, it's been behind games such as Song of Nunu, Rune King, Hextech Mayhem, and The Mage Seeker. While we're proud of what we've created in this space and we're grateful for the Forge team and for our external partners who made these games happen, we don't view this as core to our strategy moving forward, JJ wrote. As for the rest of Riot's portfolio, the company says that League of Legends, Valorant, Teamfight Tactics, and Wild Rift will be more ambitious than ever, and that their teams will be prioritized. Legends of Runeterra will continue, however the game has faced financial challenges and cost more to develop and support than it makes, so the team is being downsized and focusing on the PvE Path of Champions. Riot Games' layoffs comes as yet another blow to an industry already reeling from mass layoffs. Last year, an estimated 10,000 individuals lost their jobs industry-wide, and in the first month of 2024 alone, so far the number is rapidly approaching 4,000 amid studio closures, project cancellations, and industry funding drying up in a tragic trend that seems likely to extend well into the rest of the year. Comment section. The Shadow 250 says 6 months of severance is pretty generous. I agree. Real Frowns goes, lots of tech layoffs happening these days. It sucks for everyone affected. The entertainment industries like video games get hit more than others as consumers pull back on spending on unnecessary things. And Chuck481 says, also a bit of entertainment industry pretending there would not be a slump after COVID. Execs too afraid to say to shareholders that they may have to scale back, so they keep on hiring like they don't know what is coming and make savings when they fire them. So what do you think of Riot Games laying off 530 people? These are the guys behind like League of Legends. I mean,
Yeah, like what the fuck, man? League of Legends is a very popular game since the LAS 2008, 2009. Like they never lost much sales or popularity since then, and they got never to lay off 500 workers still. Like I said, maybe like about 50, 100 people. Okay, no big deal. For sake of blow customer service departments, human resources, etc., etc. But 500, that's very greedy, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's capitalism. Like, hey, it's about short-term gains for you know for the least amount of usage or the least amount of labor involved in that short period of time. So they're not thinking long term. That's what I'm thinking of. Because if I was a gaming company or a gaming studio, and or have my own gaming platform like it's similar to like Nintendo, or whatever, I'll try to keep on to my developers for as long as possible because they don't want to need the skills or the experience needed to maintain that betterment of my IPs and all. Because once they lay them off, they go into other companies like PlayStation related or Sony, Sony PlayStation, or even Nintendo and stuff like that. Like I want to give up that talent to still bring and give it to them. You know,
right.
I'll try to find ways to keep my employees happy, and also keep them for the sake of not throwing them away like use of garbage.
Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately it sucks, but it's what a lot of game companies are going through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it just sucks. again, you think Riot Games would have been safe, just like Microsoft, just like you think the developer company for Dead by Daylight, but no.
Oh yeah,
Ready to move on?
yeah. We can move on.
All right. We got only 4 articles left. Ubisoft wants you to become more comfortable with not owning your games.
Bullshit.
Ubisoft envisions a consumer shift happening in gaming, similar to how streaming changed how people listen to music and watch movies. Ubisoft has described its vision for the future of its rebranded subscription service, Ubisoft Plus, and how it expects to grow if it can convince consumers to change their mindset toward playing video games. Like movies and music available on streaming services, Ubisoft wants its subscribers to become more comfortable with not owning their games outright. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Director of Subscriptions Ubisoft Philip Tremblay explained that getting users to become more comfortable with not owning games was just one of the business paths Ubisoft was pursuing, in addition to more traditional models of ownership. The point is not to force users to go down one route or another, Tremblay said. We offer purchase, we offer subscription, and it's the gamer's preference that is important here. We are seeing some people who's choosing to subscribe now, but it all works. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. Tremblay added that one of the side benefits to this approach is that players will never lose progress, so their saved games won't be deleted. You don't lose what you built in the game or your engagement with the game, so it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game, he said. Ubisoft still expects physical game sales to be a major part of the industry for the foreseeable future, and Ubisoft's overall goal is to allow its users to have instant access to any of their games, similarly to how streaming subscriptions like Netflix or Max work, when those services aren't dumping their original TV series or movies, that is. Ubisoft Plus is now available on PC, Xbox, and Luna, and its big selling points include day one access to new games, early access for select titles like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and a library of dozens of Ubisoft's biggest hits. Those features will be available as part of the premium subscription package, $18 per month, while Ubisoft Plus Classics on PC offers access to a curated selection of the company's back catalog and live games. Um, I do. He's kind of. I have to say, the what is this guy's position? Tremblay. Um, let's see. Director of subscriptions, Philip Tremblay. It sounds like he tried to word this the best way possible, so people wouldn't be upset with him.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna read a couple comments, and then you can say what you think. When Ives74 said, when games became so big they had to be one off a hard drive rather than directly from a disc, this became the inevitable outcome. Now, if some forward-thinking publisher wanted to offer an olive branch in the form of making the games playable after they decided to stop supporting it, this would be a very different conversation. Live services would be shit out of luck, but single-player games, and particularly games that offer a single-player option, but still currently require server connection, Diablo, he spelled it Diablo, being allowed to run locally and offline without checking in to constantly verify digital rights when they take servers down would go a long way, but it won't happen. IX Gamer says, time to boycott Ubisoft. What say you, chatters? Dushness goes, Nintendo is the real anti-consumer here. They destroyed VC, so you can't buy and own games. They force you to subscribe as the only way to play, which it's true, but kind of irrelevant in this situation.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this guy? Do you agree with what he said? Do you disagree? What's your take on this?
Well, Ubisoft is starting to become anti-consumer now, in my opinion. It's to the point where it's like it's they're trying to, they got the hook, line, and sinker on most gamers now with their all digital services like live services and all. And now it's like you can't escape from it because you put so much effort, time, as well as money into those games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, you name it. As one example. And Ubisoft, obviously, it has its own games like Rayman Legends and what's it called? The uh, the Assassin's Creed doll. That's what I checked. Is it Assassin's Creed they currently have relations with, or own them, or make games from? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You say that again?
I was saying that Assassin's Creed that's in relation with Ubisoft, right? The
Yeah,
makers.
that's one of their biggest franchises.
Yeah. So after decades of Assassin's, not decade, well, that's been a decade now.
Yeah, decades.
Yeah, a decade of Assassin's Creed now. It's like now they got us hook, line, and sinker with all the microtransactions and stuff. So now they can say literally whatever they want to, and people just submit to it completely or almost completely at this rate. But it all depends on the consumers or the current customers at the time of Ubisoft because they're the ones who got to determine if they want to own their games or that they don't just care or they just say fuck it, we'll continue buying more digital services.
Yeah. Like I said, he tried to word this very carefully, not to piss off people. But it didn't really work. A lot of people did get pissed off.
Oh yeah.
Um, Go on.
No, you continue.
Okay. But the thing is, yeah. What he's saying is, people got comfortable not owning CDs, not owning music, and then not owning movies, and that's true. Most of my music was digital because I was acquiring it in a way that I shouldn't have been to begin with. Um, and lots of people are giving up their DVDs or don't. No one cares about DVDs or Blu-rays as much as they did like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I don't belong to any subscription services. Like I said, I haven't belonged to Game Pass for almost a year now. Um, and honestly, like I said, this and the next story that we're going to cover is the reason I'm going back retro wise because yeah, you can. I mean, it's not just the game server shutting down. What if Ubisoft shuts down for whatever reason, even if it's like a temporary hack or something? Those
Yeah.
people that subscribe to that service and depend on that for their games are going to be out of luck.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking through my loose games binder. I just want to read the names that I have. Um, I got Apocalypse for PlayStation, Fusion Frenzy 2 for Xbox 360, Wanted for PlayStation 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance for Xbox, Super Mario All Stars for the Wii, Final Fantasy 12 for PS2, and Mad World for the Wii. These are all discs. These are games I could play anytime I want. Most of them I got not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. I think people, and honestly, I think this is the wrong time to push this. I think people they're starting to care more about physical media again because yeah, it was all digital was fine as long as physical was always there for whoever wanted it. We're not talking about the option to buy games or pay for the subscription service. It's you can buy the game physically or you can buy the game digitally or you can pay for the service.
Have those three options available. Yeah.
And now that the physical option is disappearing, that's what people are caring about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So um, yeah, so I think people are going to start caring about physical media again. That's if they haven't already.
Hopefully, it's not too little, too late for the matter because it's like 10 years into the digital gaming market, easily 10 years. Because it all started from the tail end of the 360 PS3 years because they started digitizing games since then, and then all of a sudden by Xbox One, PS4, that's when they try to make people buy more and more digital than ever before on all platforms, all gaming studios, all games all together. So it's kind of like can you put the genie back into the bottle from doing that? Those all digital services.
Well, I don't think there's any hope for future. But like I said, there's always a reason. You can always go back to retro. Whether it's Amazon, eBay, price charting, or any other game. You can buy games from other sites from the past. you can always, discover games you never got a chance to try and buy those instead and
Especially
talk with
eBay.
your wallet that way. That's what I'm doing.
Especially eBay.com and all, because eBay, you may not be able to find every single old game out there in the market, but you'll find just enough to get by, and that's perfect right there for those who are younger,
Yeah, and
you know.
yeah, but I mean, eBay, Amazon, price charting, Bonanza is a website I use. They sell video games. They have people who sell video games besides me. Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. All these places you can go and buy old games. Like I said, just pull up a random game collection on eBay for a system that you own, and the games that you never played, check them out. Check out their score on Game FAQs. Pull up a video review on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't find a video review, you'll most likely find a Let's Play,
Mm-hmm.
and then make your decision. And then, like I said, I'm happy with this. I'm starting to find games that like follow. The Simpsons game and Lego Harry Potter is not exactly working out like the way I'd like, but Final Fantasy 12 I enjoyed what I played of it, the couple hours I played so far. Mad World I like, although it gets a little tiring on your arms after a while because it's Wii motion controls. But like I said, I'm also finding more games that I never got to try. Actually, I was searching because a couple games I ordered for Christmas never showed up. So I got the refund for those games. And I wanted to spend that money on something else because it was meant to be gift money. I discovered a Sega Genesis game called Quackshot, starring Donald Duck. It looks like a DuckTales on Sega Genesis.
Right.
It looks awesome. That's probably going to be one of my next purchases when I do have more disposable income. So, and it's like less than $20. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a game, but that's a game. It's not a game. It's not an expensive game, but it's a game I never played. And I love the first DuckTales so much. DuckTales 2, I probably can't afford. Although after the next article, that might change. Yeah. So I'm saying, I'm now more against subscription services just because I see the drawbacks, and it's like, ooh, this is no longer an option. It's before we had options, now we have option.
The only option.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only option is just one option. One choice, like my saying goes, one choice is not a choice,
Right. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Because I want to cover this next story.
Definitely.
That folder can be closed. Fans shocked as leaks reveal PlayStation believes games will cost around $80 to $100 from 2027. Insomniac Games faced a massive data leak recently, and the public got an insider view of private matters. Some documents have been discovered by them starting an increase in game prices up to the $100 mark by 2027. An increase in prices in gaming had been noticeable after the release of PlayStation 5, which caused debates among consumers. Generational increases in game prices have been a topic of discussion among gamers for a long time. Compared to PS2 generation games, modern titles cost almost $30 to $40 more due to technical upgrades, raising a huge debate among the community on how publishers are overcharging consumers for modern games. This increase in prices for PlayStation games can be blamed on the global market inflation. For instance, games in 2001 cost about $50, which seems cheaper compared to now at first sight. If studied in depth, $50 in the 2000s is equivalent to nearly $90 according to current market standards. Thus, games costing about $70 now prove the fact thus games are cheaper in the current market. Looking at the average annual earning data of U.S. citizens, there has been an increase in wages by 17%, according to Statista, while games have seen a decrease in valuation by 22%, according to current market standards. In the eyes of common folk, the hobby appears to be getting more expensive in the coming years, but in reality that is not the case, as only a result of market changes. The price increases. The price increase projection from PlayStation has gotten netizens talking, and Sony faced major backlashes. Consumers have started to raise the question of who will pay $100 for just games. Some even claim that gaming has always been an expensive hobby to begin with. Publishers have always received flack for raising game prices just like PlayStation is facing now. Every time publishers increase the pricing of games has always seen public disapproval globally. For instance, Activision faced heavy backlash from fans for its pricing of various editions of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Back in 2013, Rockstar faced a similar predicament for releasing GTA 5 at $60 pricing for PlayStation 3. While PlayStation announced the increase of games prices by $10 for the PS5 console, fans got furious about it. Earlier, the company used to sell its games at the $60 mark till the release of next-gen hardware. The inflated pricing applies towards PlayStation Plus as well, which was implemented without any announcements. According to a report made by a Japanese media house, Nikkei, Capcom president Haruhiro Tsujimoto said game development costs have gone up a lot since the 2000s. Tsujimoto-san also stated the following. There is also a need to raise wages. Considering the fact that wages are rising in the industry as a whole, I think raising unit prices is a healthy option for business. This statement caused a lot of debate among the gaming community as Capcom managed to pull in massive profits over the years. So gamers raised the question of whether it is market inflation that is causing a rise in the prices of games. Leaving the backlash aside, market inflation has caused a lot of trouble for common people, professionals, and artists in general. Game developers face these issues and work hard to see an increase in their pay grade. Companies are trying hard to support their workers and continue running their businesses. So increased game prices aren't that big of a surprise in a recession period like this. No comments. So what do you think about game prices possibly reaching $100 in just 3 years?
Yeah, it's too much right there, man. Like, I love video games still to this day as a gamer since I was like 6 years old. I can remember, but at this certain age, certain time in my life where it's like, if they start getting too expensive to collect the collections of things, like whether it's like artwork, whether it's bowling, whether it's activities like that, or bowling, or even on games like that, the video games altogether. It's kind of like, can I continue collecting, or can I continue maintaining that collection? It's the
Yep.
point where it's like, where does it stop? This increase in the prices, And I'm not saying that I would never spend a dime on entertainment ever again. Obviously, if it's like $100, I mean, look at entertainment like that of what's it called, the Dark Knight trilogy that was on sale for like 25, $30. Now it's like that $75 now on
Oh wow.
Amazon. Because there's a special artwork. It's like an art book, art
Oh,
book. Because it's like
well, I thought it was just the movie that was the movie trilogy that was that much. I was like, wow, I should have bought it 10 years ago.
yeah, well, it's a special art book where it moves while you move your booklet around. Like, the one of those flashy things. Like if you
Yep.
it explodes and not explode, explodes not explode. That's the artwork that I got for about $25. That same digitized or the same digital slash physical art book, whatever, now costs like $75 if you're lucky. So, it's good. It's good for me that I bought that copy. It's still good to this day. It's still a good condition, that copy. Um, but that's just Batman, of course. So imagine games altogether. It was rarer and rarer and rarer, like the games like Atari or Nintendo, Super Nintendo, even. Um, but obviously, we're well ahead of that. You and I, Triple J, on that factor. So, but games like the of today's world, the current gen, current games coming out, Tekken 8, Baldur's Gate 3, it's like, we're lucky to afford it if we really want to. That is, if we sacrifice enough to get that game, it's already hard enough to get for $70, and it's 80 to
All right.
100. So
Yeah. That's again. They make a good point. Obviously, games cost a lot more to make, but at the same time, it's not like these people. what developers and what publishers never bring up is they also have a way to make more money off games, whether it's being our subscription service, whether it's microtransactions, whether it's downloadable content. With the exception of downloadable content, these options didn't exist before to make money to make money off their games. Now you got microtransactions to the point where they're breaking gambling laws in some countries. Well, FIFA did anyway. So I mean, it's like yeah, games cost more to make, but you also have more avenues to make money off them. And I mean, games costing if games cost $100, all I can say is, you know what? Any retro game, my budget for the most expensive for my retro games are going to be $111 per game now. But yeah, this is another reason. Because if you're going to pay $100, you're not going to want something digital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. They want to go into this all digital future, so they want to give you less, but they want to charge you 2/3 more of what. No, when I was paying $40 to $60, I was getting a disc, a case, and a manual. Now you want to charge me almost the price of another game, and I get nothing, just some files on a hard drive that can be taken away at any time.
Especially if it has DRM, de novo is called. That was just a pain in the ass I hear lately.
Exactly. So, yeah, no. They're just. Like I said, this is just between that and games going and this all digital future that we're headed towards. Just another reason to go back towards retro, because get yourself $100, you can buy yourself, a like half a dozen or even more games instead of just one.
Or I take a girl on a date for $100 easily.
Yeah.
That'd be better. That'd be experience in a video game sometimes,
Yeah, you might. I mean, I wouldn't go to movies, although movie theaters are dying. But yeah, you can, go on date, go bowling.
All for $100 if you're lucky. If it's a Tuesday night, Because
still, I mean,
it's very expensive, but Tuesday nights are perfect for dating.
Just reminds me of, and Valentine's Day is also expensive.
Yes, that too. That's gonna be a hectic day, Valentine's Day, because the Tomb Raider trilogy coming out. What else? Some other shit coming out, updates and stuff like that for other games coming out. So, man, it's gonna be hectic that day, Valentine's Day 2024.
Well, no, I meant Valentine's Day is also expensive to go out.
Oh, I was referring to Valentine's Day 2024, but okay.
Because it seems like restaurants and stores, raise prices. If you're buying something for Valentine's Day, you're going to get charged 3 times what you normally would.
Especially if it's the last minute Valentine's Day offers.
Yeah. Anyway, ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. Cannot wait for the Tomb Raider game to come out, though, in 2024 of Valentine's Day, though. So.
All right. Next, WWE 2K24 release date announced. Cover star revealed. Ring the changes. WWE 2K24 launches on March 8, 2024 across PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. Publisher 2K confirmed Cody Rhodes as the cover superstar on the Standard Edition. The WWE 2K24 Deluxe Edition features Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, making it the first dual-woman cover, with Bianca being the first woman of color to ever be featured on the cover of WWE 2K. There's also a WWE 2K24 40 Years of WrestleMania edition designed to coincide with the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. The cover features a collage of superstars from the past and present, along with the iconic WrestleMania marquee. Developed by Visual Concepts, WWE 2K24 features a WrestleMania mode that lets users play through iconic moments in WrestleMania history. 4 new match types, such as Ambulance and Special Guest Referee, 2 new My Rise experiences, and a roster of more than 200 WWE superstars and legends, including Roman Reigns, Andre the Giant, Becky Lynch, Batista, Kurt Angle, Asuka, Bret Hart, Brock Lesnar, Macho Man Randy Savage, Chyna, and more. Elsewhere, there is now the ability to move the camera during live gameplay and improvements to the ramp cameras and dive cameras. Here's a quote from Cody Rhodes. I've been known to keep a checklist of key milestones I want to experience on the path to finishing my story. As an avid gamer, being named WWE 2K Cover Superstar is very, very close to the top of that list. I'm very happy to work with the teams at 2K and Visual Concepts to bring that dream to life. Here's the official blurb on WWE 2K24 per 2K. 2K Showcase of the Immortals. For 40 years, WrestleMania has captivated millions of fans around the globe as WWE superstars became legends and spectacular moments, from Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant to Mr. WrestleMania Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker putting on Match for the Ages, and many more cemented WWE Hall of Fame legacies. The grandest stage of them all has drawn earth-shaking roars from over 100,000 plus in attendance as the biggest icons in WWE made history and left every drop of blood, sweat, and tears in the squared circle. 40 years in the making, the WWE 2K24 Showcase of the Immortals puts players and controls playing through the most iconic moments in WrestleMania history, as 2K's distinctive slingshot tech seamlessly morphs gameplay to live action footage and back again. I hate that though. For the most immersive WrestleMania video game experience to date. A host of unlockable content adds challenge and replay value to the historical experience. Iconic roster. WWE 2K24 boasts a star-studded roster featuring WWE legends, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, and Andre the Giant, alongside current WWE superstars, including the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, John Cena, Rhea Ripley, and Roman Reigns, whose larger-than-life entrances and signature moves are heightened by ultra-plus realistic graphics. New match types and improvements on existing match types. Players asked, and WWE 2K24 delivers with 4 new chaotic match types: special guest referee, ambulance match, casket match, and gauntlet match. In addition, the backstage brawl now features 4-player support and new interactive environmental elements, including a working elevator, breakable control room glass, and a vending machine with throwable sodas, while the Royal Rumble now offers support for 8 online players and 30 Superstar Online matches. All of the familiar WWE 2K match types, such as War Games, Extreme Rules, TLC, Submission, Hell in a Cell, and many more, also return. More details on each new match type will be shared soon. Gameplay upgrades. WWE 2K24 features improvements to gameplay throughout, including super finishers, the Trading Blows minigame, top rope dive onto a group of opponents outside the ring, double title matches, new paybacks, and much more. New weapon types, including trash cans, guitars, and microphones, plus the ability to throw weapons, allows players to bring the pain. Also, 7 real WWE referees are featured to add to the immersive experience. MyGM. The popular WWE brand management simulation continues to expand with new GMs and brands to choose from, more match types, more dramas, more championships, talent scouts, superstar trading between brands, superstar contract management, and the new Superstar Journey, which allows superstars to earn XP, train, and level up to gain new benefits after participating in matches. My Faction. The team-building mode in which players collect, manage, and upgrade an array of WWE superstars and legends to create the ultimate 4-person faction returns with a new direct purchase card market and updated multiplayer experience. Players can now compete in ranked online quick play with unique rewards and seasonal leaderboards, challenge themselves with weekly towers, and take on a revamped Faction Wars 2.0 featuring more real-world factions, more 4 versus 4 match types, a Faction War-specific reward shop, and more. New themed card packs and goals will continue to roll out regularly through the year with seasonal content refreshes. My Rise. In WWE 2K's unique career mode experience, 2 new storylines, Undisputed for the men and Unleashed for the women's, put players in control of custom-created superstars looking to make a name for themselves and cement their legacies in WWE history. Featuring Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Mick Foley, and others, performing My Rise voiceover the first time alongside other superstars and legends, expanded rewards, original My Rise characters and unlockables carrying over into other game modes and new environments, My Rise is more impactful on the overall WWE 2K experience than ever before. Universe. The ultimate WWE Universe sandbox that puts players in charge of superstar rosters, feuds, champions, weekly shows, and premium live events now features expanded rivalry actions, including run-ins, Money in the Bank cash-ins, scenarios, and brawls, as well as new cutscenes. Special guest referee support, double title matches, and a loser leaves town stipulation. Creation Suite, the crown jewel of the WWE 2K franchise, the best in-class, most detailed, and robust Creation Suite returns with all new support for Create a Referee and Create a Sign, as well as new parts and animations to design custom superstars, GMs, arenas, entrances, movesets, championships, and more. Let me get some comments. One of these days you're going to wake up, says, remember Slobber Knocker matches? Those are a thing of beauty. It says there's a gauntlet match being added, so hopefully it's somewhat similar and not just another run-of-the-mill gauntlet match. Also, the Hardcore Championship 24/7 matches were class. They tried and failed to bring it back with the 24/7 title. I used to love playing those in the older games. Jeff2606 says, breakable control room glass? Is it meant to be real glass? How will playing with CM Punk affect this? Asking for a friend. And Young Yellow says, as long as I can cry myself a river. Somebody says, just remake No Mercy with updated graphics, roster, and match types. So, Dr. Games 101. As someone who liked WWE games in the past, does WWE 2K24 interest you?
Oh, goddamn, right? All those features, all those modes, all those wrestlers. You know, it's I don't know if it's a blessing or if a curse or what. I mean, it's like, goddamn. Because, wait, if I recall correctly, W2K24, should that be the year before it released of the 2024 release? Like, why is it doing that this year, in the same year? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, WWE... No, I mean, we are in the year 2024.
Because you know how it is with like certain sports games, they'll say it'll come out. Let's say the game like NHL 19, but as the year 2018 comes out, like some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The year before.
Yeah. Well, it's what changed was just the schedule. After the debacle that was WWE 2K20, for instead of sticking to an October release date or November release date, they moved it to March. So WWE 2. So they took off for WWE 2K21. That game doesn't exist. And when 2K22 started coming out, it started coming out in March instead of October of the previous year. So, like, yeah, you're right. When WWE 2K18 came out, I bought it in November of 2017. I bought it just a couple days before I moved down to Georgia.
Okay.
So that's the whole reason I also bought it digital. But yeah, so it's just after the debacle that was 2K20, and Vicarious Productions not having enough time to create a game after Ukes was left. They said, okay, we're taking off for 2K21. That game's not going to exist. We're gonna jump straight to 2K22. But it's going to come out in March of the year listed instead of the year before.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's like that. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
That's how the schedule changed. Honestly, though, there's obviously in the 40 years of WrestleMania, there's going to be matches that aren't included, like Triple H and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 because Bryan Danielson's in AEW. So. Obviously, some matches are going to be left out. But the thing is, I want to see if I can get this because there are different there are different W24 price editions because there's different editions, like they said. Oh, well, that's all the deluxe edition. Okay, here we go. This is the pricing, American prices. Pricing starts from $59 for the base game for WWE 2K24, $99 for WWE 2K24 Deluxe, and $119 for the WWE 2K24 40 Years of WrestleMania Edition. Among WWE 2K24's pre-order bonuses is an offer of Peacock Premium, valued at $6 for new subscribers. So yeah, there's going to be like if you buy the main game, you're going to get the game and nothing else. If you buy the deluxe edition, you get season pass and you get an accelerator. You get the chance to unlock everyone. But then the 40 Years of WrestleMania, which I heard is only being released digitally, that's going to have even more extras. Would you be considering getting this game since it's going to come out for Xbox One or?
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like the wrestling games changed so much since I played SmackDown vs. Raw and all. Because like I still have my Superstar pack of SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, SmackDown vs. Raw Original. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like they definitely changed since those gameplays, and it's I'm so used to playing SmackDown vs. Raw. It's not even a joke.
Yeah, like I said, I'd probably stick to WWE 2K. Probably hunt down a copy of WWE 2K14 for PlayStation 3, because I had all the DLC. So like, if I get it for the PS3, I'll have all the DLC again.
And 2K16, don't forget about that game too. Stone Cold Steve Austin featured on the cover.
Yeah, but I didn't get the DLC for that game, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I still got my copy.
I'm saying 2K14. Yeah, but I'm saying 2K14. I used to have all the I had all the DLC, so obviously, if I got another copy for the PS3, I could put that in my PS3 and play it again. Okay. WWE 2K24 sounds like it's going to be great, but at the same time, it's just
so much to cover.
Yeah, and and with all the different editions, hopefully my job comes back. But even if my job, even if I'm working again, because it still comes out like in a month or 6 weeks, I can't say I'd definitely be getting this.
Yeah.
I need to move on to the final story for tonight.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Next and last, Xbox Game Pass January 2024, Wave 2 games announced, plus early February. Microsoft has announced the next wave of games coming to Game Pass, taking subscribers up to the end of January and into early February 2024. Highlights include Persona 3 Reload, F123, and Powerwall. Here's the list of games coming to Xbox Game Pass during the rest of January and early February 2024. Those Who Remain came to Cloud Console and PC 11 days ago. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank came to Cloud Console and PC 9 days ago. So did F123 came to PC, Game Pass, and Ultimate via EA Play. On January 19th, Powerwall came to Cloud Console and PC. On January 25th, a couple days ago, was Go Mecha Ball came to Cloud Console and PC. In 3 days, on January 30th, will be Blotato for Cloud Console and PC. On February 2nd, will be Persona 3 Reload for Cloud Console and PC. And on February 6th, Amnuchard is coming to Cloud Console and PC. Out today, January 16th, is Those Who Remain across Cloud Console and PC. IGN's review of Those Who Remain returned a 6 out of 10. We said psychological horror game Those Who Remain features jump scares with a few too many jagged edges. January 18th sees Snoozy Kazoo's Turnip Boy Robs a Bank launch into Game Pass as a Day 1 title across Cloud Console and PC. Codemasters racing game F123 launches into PC, Game Pass, and Ultimate via EA Play, also on January 18th. IGN's F123 review returned an 8 out of 10. We said with Breaking Point 2 aboard, F123 is a far hardier package than F122. However, while the new F1 World Mode is packed with activities, its loot-based upgrade system may split fans. As already announced, Powerworld, aka Pokemon with Guns, launches Day 1 with Game Pass on the 19th across Cloud Console and PC. On January 25th, twin stick shooter Go Mecha Ball launches a day one Game Pass release on cloud console and PC. Top down roguelite arena shooter Brotato, you play a gun toting potato, hits Game Pass on January 30th across cloud console and PC. Then moving into early February, we have a big hitter. Persona 3 Reload is available day one with Game Pass via cloud console and PC from February 2nd. Check out the final preview for more. And finally, Anyachard hits Game Pass via cloud console and PC on February 6th. Of course, like we said, Hitman World of Assassination is leaving Game Pass on January 31st. Just want to see if I can get comments. Kayabunga says, anyone else find it that it's the normal suspects talking about how they're happy to be canceling Game Pass, like every time a Game Pass article comes up? I'm starting to think some of y'all don't actually have Game Pass, or that you do and you aren't actually going to cancel it. I swear, some of y'all have been canceling Game Pass for at least 6 months now. Less Context says, I think it's weirder that you're memorizing users who claim they're going to cancel Game Pass. And Eagles Vols 91 goes, I've had Game Pass for years, but I'm finally canceling. PS5 are just so much more fun to play. Alchemy's Troll says, consistently better than PlayStation, which gives away old Game Pass games more than they give away PlayStation games. Are you interested for any of the games coming to Game Pass?
To be honest with myself, not really at first, because like I said, I don't have Game Pass right now. But if I do have Game Pass, though, the World of Assassination, I'll definitely go back into playing again and take it from there. I might have to get some more disk space, though, or more storage spaces, actually, because I've been maxed out on most of my storage content for the last few months now. I think it starts to the point where it's like I need to get more external hard drives for my Xbox One systems. Both of them.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Power World, Pokemon with guns. It's funny to think about, but it's not a game that interests me. And none of the games coming also interest me. Like, oh, I got to renew Game Pass for 1 month.
Yeah.
No. So, I mean, if you like any of these games or any of these games sound interesting to you, that's great. But it just doesn't have that effect for me.
Oh yeah.
And that's it. That's the. I hope you enjoyed this. This was episode 90 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. Our next episode will be in 2 weeks on February 10th, trying to start at 9 p.m. Eastern. I know we started a few minutes late today, but nothing too major. It was like 9:07 when we started. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching these clips on YouTube, subscribe to me there. If you're watching this on Twitch, follow me here. Dr. Games 101, do you have any plans for tomorrow?
I finally got my connection, got better connection to my Xbox and capture cards together. So I did a gameplay of No Man's Sky the other day, so I'll check that out. I'll do some more gameplay sometime this week, as always. I think about this time I'm going to set up my PS2 console for the third Cerebus this week. Hopefully it'll work well on that particular console, because that requires more additional connections and more power and stuff like that. So it's very complicated at first on my end, because obviously I lack the proper equipment, up to date equipment, I should say. But like I said, it's updated. I got new HDMI cables and all, so it should work well on my PS2 as well. So pray for a better connection for those games. All right, other than that,
Okay.
I'm just going to continue just doing like more Z League and all whenever I can with the online tournaments. I won about 3,000 points, Z League points, that is called, the other earlier today. So let's just say that's enough to get like a new Xbox gift card if I came in for the right time for the raffle tournaments, the raffle tickets for the Z League package is called. So pray for me to get the Xbox Game Pass or the Xbox $10 gift card. And that's when I can renew my Xbox and do more gameplay on the Xbox as well too. So that's all.
Okay. Yeah. For those of you who know, I ordered Super Mario Galaxy for Christmas. Unfortunately, that game didn't work. Less than 10 minutes, I got the scratch disk message. The guy who I ordered Star Wars: The Force Unleashed from, the first one, he never sent it. So I got refunds for those two games. I bought a couple DVDs, and a game that just arrived earlier today is Chrono Cross on PlayStation. So I'm going to be streaming Chrono Cross tomorrow on Sunday, um, just to get as far as I can, see how it works.
Oh, you
Um,
don't like Chrono Cross? I hear good things about it. It's like a spiritual
I've
sequel to Chrono Trigger.
honestly I've played it before. I've reviewed Chrono Cross before, but I never finished it.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen any ties to Chrono Trigger.
It's a spiritual sequel at best. That's why.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, I do know I like Chrono Cross because, like I said, I did play it for a while before I reviewed it. Um,
Yeah.
but obviously, I'm gonna have to start from the beginning because I'm pretty sure my old game is not saved on my PlayStation One memory card.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with that. So yeah, I don't know what time, but I do plan to be streaming Chrono Cross tomorrow, and I'll pick it up, and it'll be uploaded to YouTube afterwards.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, I should resume my gameplay of Chrono Trigger as well. Speaking of Chrono Cross, so it's been so many
yeah,
months I haven't played that game in a while.
do you even remember where you left off?
I finally defeated the first boss on the last time I played it.
The boss in 600 AD, the one who abducted the queen?
Yes, in that piano organ church area.
Yeah, you didn't rescue the queen. You just found the secret that the piano, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
you didn't actually rescue the queen. You just found the secret in the cathedral to continue.
and then I did a recording of it last time I checked. On playing the boss though.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had done that.
Yeah, either I should have. I think I did record it. I'll check back my past recordings and take it from there. I'll definitely do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I don't know. Depending on what time it is, I may stream Chrono Cross, or I just might record it and upload it to YouTube's afterwards. It just depends how my day goes tomorrow. But until next time, good night, everyone.
Later, guys.